mode now so we can have the
there's like a thing. It says this is being live streamed. We never had that before.
I guess consent is a thing now because
ask you.
I think
that's
part
fun.
of it, yeah, I mean, hey, all yay for consent.
I enjoy it.
All right, so
copy link.
I was literally just gonna do that. Okay. Ba-boop.
And then I'll put it in the page too.
Perfection.
Oh, so this is my new kitchen / living room.
This is cute.
Lovely.
Very open. The ceilings are like 20 feet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So this is why it's so echoey, because I still haven't finished hanging up all my pictures, and then I have to like buy more stuff to fill the space.
That's how you end up with more stuff.
I know, I hate that. So I actually found these really cute, like renter-friendly shelves that don't like drill into the wall and stuff. And then I have some cute like stick-on wallpaper that just peels off. So we're gonna be decorating a lot next week.
We love to see that.
Yeah. Is it just, or are there more people?
We're waiting on our narrator.
Oh.
Helpful to have.
I'm getting all my smiles out now because I gotta be.
You a stone cold bitch for the next like 2 hours.
You know what's fun about it is like I always say that I am like Leslie Knope outside, April Ludgate inside, and now I get to be April Ludgate outside. So
I recreated one of, I can't remember what episode it is, but it's where she picks the scissors up. It's like the GIF. Mm-hmm. I literally, one of my coworkers was being a douche rocket, so I literally just picked I was like,
that sounds painful.
Yeah.
Like a rocket speed.
That is speed. Douche.
There's Danny.
Yay.
Huzzah.
All right. So I'm gonna rename for. Ooh, yes! Come on, moonlighting.
Ooh.
I could probably also moonlight.
Moonlighting.
I am very stupid today, and I'm allowing myself the space to be stupid. I legit plugged my earphones in, and then I could see that y'all were still talking. I was just holding the earphones, and I was like, why can't I hear anything? And then I realized, like, I thought for a minute, I did some clicking around. I have the earphones in my hand, and I was like, you know, you can't see me doing this, but I was like mousing around, and I was like, what's going on? And then I realized, Kelsey, you dumb bitch. Earphones. Of course you can't hear because they're not in your ear. So
You just reminded me that
lights look better, y'all.
Are we all gonna just moonlight? Oh, that really changed it, Sarah.
What color are we doing? Red?
Spooky lack the ability to do this, so.
Okay.
Well,
how washed out am I gonna be with this? Nothing changed because this ring light is so crazy.
Right, that's where I am. Because like my living room lights, they can change, but my dining room light stays. Pink. Yeah, so it's pink in there. Oh my gosh, it looks nice in there.
Yes. Okay, there we go. I'm turning the light down a little bit.
Look at her.
She's cute. Yes, we love this.
Aww,
okay.
Mama Mel is watching, y'all.
Yay! The person that we're doing this for.
Yay!
I understand where you got confused though, because
that's my wife's name.
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm, Mel doesn't have mom energy. She's got like aunt who'll bail you out of jail energy.
She really does, and that's the energy I strive to have as an aunt. TBH.
Baby!
Yay!
Yay!
Let me change to
Oh, we should have had all the people who have kids in the house do the never gonna grow up, grow up. What do they sing? Or the what's that stupid song they sing? Right. That would be such a fun
That just looks like you're voguing.
It does. But I'm being the flower. Remember that little kid was dressed like a daisy?
An elf.
These
Are you talking about like Problem Child, like the kid from the birthday party?
No, the
You mean Raz?
in the school play.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you now.
I've literally not watched this movie since last year. Come on.
Well, it's also different. It's different than like, okay, we all know family values.
Can we
Clearly.
do family values in November?
Yes.
If Ginger can find it, yes.
I will.
Okay,
I will
and-
look for it.
I am calling.
I have the cause if we could.
Okay.
Oh yes. Also, I'm just gonna call dibs right now on the Christine Baranski role.
Please. Nope, you didn't need to
should.
call dibs on
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
okay. That tracks.
Okay,
Understood.
just before we do intros, can we do this for anyone who knows the movie as well as I do? Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Don't we just hate that?
Yeah.
Don't we wish they would just die?
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't. Toxic positivity, courtesy of Christine Baranski. Okay, I have the clip of the theme song, by the way. I don't know if it'll play though, so we'll see. Because with these headphones, it's really weird.
Hello, Razzle.
Raz.
She has a no closed door policy, and I'm in my bedroom, so she's gonna be
You
pissy.
leave the door open for Jesus. I get that.
It would not be a script reading without Raz. So.
I love
You can't see her, but she's glaring at me over the top of the laptop.
that.
That sounds cute.
She lost her first
Oh,
tooth.
baby.
Aw.
Mm.
All right, shall we get going here? It's 7
Yes.
o'clock.
Yes. It is. Well, it's the witching hour, and I also was not going to start right at 7 because that's bad luck for theater. So, hi everybody. Hi everybody. Welcome back. We are the Not Ready for Quarantine players, and it's been a minute. And just because, like, I'm just laughing internally and externally, and also drinking, because when we finished, we thought, okay, hey, things are opening up again, and then Delta hit. So here we are again. We are back at the behest of our co-creator Ginger, who brought us into this worthy cause tonight, which Ginger will be talking about far better than I ever could at intermission.
Mm-hmm.
And we are doing, because we couldn't find the script in time, the 1990. You're gonna need to turn the light on for that one, babe. You might need to turn the light up, Ginger.
See it?
It's a little dark. I
Oh,
can see it if
okay.
I get like
We'll do
this
it at
close.
intermission. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are doing the 1991 classic, The Addams Family. As you all know, I am Sarah Jameson, and I will be playing the role of Margaret Alford, giving you some Dana Ivy realness. But I'm going to be welcoming our players back, starting with Gomez Addams, Cadaver Daddio, Reggie's best friend.
Yes.
Whoa. I have no
Snub.
introduction. You just said who I am, but that's
Yeah,
me. Yes.
sorry. Hi. The mom of our group who went above and beyond for PlayerCon, and I'm going to keep saying that probably a couple more times tonight. Michelle Wynn is back as Morticia in the role of Fester / Gordon, my bestie, and in his first real makeup that I think we've seen him in, Pat McMahon.
I don't do makeups. That's why it looks like hot garbage.
I don't do makeups.
Makeups.
probably
Yeah,
part.
makeups. Yeah, because
probably-
let's just throw some really bad grammar in there too, just to
Hey,
hammer home the point.
it works. In the role of Wednesday, once again upping the game, Sean Watson.
These are natural. I promise.
Do we thank Sheila, I'm assuming?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, Sheila.
All the makeup every season.
Every season. In the role of Pugsley, we got Daniel J. Cook back. In the role of one of our villains, Tully Alford, we got Luke Suckington back.
If you need a villain, I'm ready.
Loving the bow tie, by the way. In the role of our other villain, Abigail Craven, we have Kelsey Davis.
Howdy.
We're welcoming her back because she's going to bring the perfect granny energy. We have Aja Marie Brown.
I ain't even gonna hold it against you, baby, because I love you so much. But this Asia,
I do this every time. I did it last time.
it's okay. I still love you.
Mwah. I'll try not to F it up in Act 2 when we do callbacks.
You're the only person that can do it, baby. I'll be your eyes.
Okay. Perfect. And playing every other role that I haven't mentioned, we have my co-creator, Ginger Fahrenheit, back.
Oh.
And where would we be without our trusty narrator, Brother Daniel? I also love that we've come back and at least 3 of us are in new digs. New apartments, new houses, fun things. So without further ado, Brother Daniel, take it away.
Fade in. On the exterior of the Addams mansion front steps on Christmas Eve. A group of carolers, their eager faces upturned, sing an endless and cloying round of Little Drummer Boy. They sing with self-righteous good cheer. As they pompously begin their umpteenth verse, the camera slowly pans up the Addams mansion, past the black wreath on the front door, broken windows, weather-beaten shingles, and a creaking shutter. The camera continues to pan to the roof, where the Addams family members, Gomez, Morticia, Granny, Pugsley, Wednesday, and Lurch, their faithful butler, gleefully pour a cauldron of bubbling, steaming pitch over the edge. As the cauldron tips, the camera pushes inside. The blackness of the pitch fills the screen. The titles begin. Dissolved to the interior of a dim hallway at 7:00 a.m. Are we good now? Oh, we couldn't hear you. No, me?
No, it's me. I just forget it. These headphones are a menace.
Okay. Close up of an oversized cuckoo clock. The clock is a perfect replica of the Addams family house, down to the creaking shutter. It chimes the door. In one window, a little mechanical Gomez bends a mechanical Morticia back until she's almost off her feet and plants a kiss between her clockwork decolletage. Man, that was 2 words that should not have gone together. 1, 2, 3 mechanical kisses, counting towards 7:00. In another window, a mechanical Pugsley hangs a mechanical Wednesday from a noose on a gallows, up and down. Meanwhile, little bursts of fog float off the rooftop, where a little mechanical Granny cranks her fog machine. The front door of the house pops open, and the mechanical Lurch appears and begins sweeping. Just then, Thing, the disembodied hand with the full-bodied personality, climbs into view over the back of the clock. Thing leaps to the floor and scampers down the hall. A low tracking shot follows Thing down the hallway. He runs past a couple of doors, past a pair of legs in pajamas, feet in bedroom slippers. He skids to a halt and backtracks to the legs. He pulls on the cuff of the pajama bottoms. They belong to Gomez, who stands in the doorway to the interior Fester's room. Gomez wears a pheasant smoking jacket over his pajamas. Even at this early hour, he puffs on his trademark cigar. Gomez is all enthusiasm or all despair. At the moment, he radiates unfathomable woe.
Think of it, Thing. He's been gone for 25 years. For 25 years, we've attempted to contact Fester in the great beyond.
Sorry, dog problems. The room is a dusty, cobweb-filled, long unoccupied shrine to Gomez's lost brother, Fester. Gomez drifts in from the doorway. The room has remained untouched since Fester's disappearance as a teenager. The thick coating of dust and cobwebs adorns the mementos of a rapscallion's youth, a football pennant from Alcatraz, headless sports trophies, a high school photo with all the other students keeping as much distance from Fester as possible, as he lovingly and morosely surveys the room.
And for 25 years, nothing. Not a whisper, not a clue. I'm beginning to think my brother truly is lost.
Gomez sighs. Thing tugs at his cuff, pulling him toward the interior of the hallway at the same time. Galloping ahead of Gomez, Thing leaps onto an old-fashioned door latch, and the door swings open into Gomez and Morticia's bedroom. Gomez approaches the bed. Asleep on scarlet satin sheets is Morticia.
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what bliss.
Low-voiced, incisive and subtle, with Morticia, smiles are rare. The ghostly whiteness of her complexion is offset by the red of the pillowcase upon which her hair is spread like a diabolic halo. A dark garbo, sultry and remote. She's a ruined beauty. Morticia opens her eyes.
Unhappy, darling?
Oh, yes, completely.
Cut to the interior of Pugsley's room. Pugsley crouches on the floor, playing with his kid-sized chemistry set. The walls of his room are covered with road signs he's collected. Bridge out, detour, excavation ahead, dangerous undertow, keep clear, high voltage. Sawed-off stop signs, still on their poles, are stacked in the corner. In another corner stands a cylindrical floor-to-ceiling fish tank filled with piranha. This tubby, energetic monster of a 9-year-old has every chance of growing up to be the public monster his parents would be proud of. He mixes chemicals in a beaker. The brew steams. Grinning wickedly, Pugsley swallows it down. He contorts, undergoing the beginnings of a transformation, and then shrinks to the size of a mouse. Laughing, he crawls out of his human-sized pajamas. Cut to the interior of an attic. Solemn and mournful, 10-year-old Wednesday has black hair and white skin like her mother. She sits on a stool among the stored Addams family objects, one end of a string tied to her tooth, the other tied to a trapdoor. The trapdoor is flung open. Granny pokes her head through. She's a giggly hag who looks like she was in the bathtub when the hairdryer fell in. Wednesday's pulled tooth swings at the end of the string.
You, grandmother.
In a foul mood, Granny tromps up into the attic.
You kids are going to have to kill your own breakfast this morning.
Wednesday opens a cigar box. Inside the box are assorted human and animal teeth, fangs and dentures, along with a collection of glass eyes. Wednesday drops her tooth in the box. We cut to the inside of Gomez and Morticia's bedroom. Gomez takes Morticia in his arms. As she languidly drapes herself across his chest, she is caught in a sudden shaft of sunlight. She squints. On the bedside table beside her, Morticia's overside carnivorous orchid wilts.
Gomez, the sun. Something, I can't see. It's in my eyes.
Tish, that's French.
We.
Care mia.
He kisses his way up to her neck, then suddenly bursting with enthusiasm and a sense of purpose, leaps from the bed, drawing his bedside saber from its sheath and brandishing it at the offending beam.
On guard, Monsieur Soleil. He thrusts and parries. Pantomiming a duel with the shaft of light was maybe not supposed to be a line I said out loud, but it's okay.
I could have said it, and I wouldn't have known.
Sorry.
Oh,
It
yeah,
happens.
okay.
Gomez,
Carry that?
last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again.
There was a freezing thing.
It says
Right.
Gomez instantly
There we
aflame.
Thank you. Cut to exterior rooftop at the same time. Granny delivers a swift kick to her fog machine.
Lousy bucket of goat.
The fog machine, straight out of a Jules Verne nightmare, is malfunctioning this morning, struggling to churn out its patches of fog. We cut to the inside and outside of Morticia and Gomez's bedroom. At the window, Gomez pokes his head out. In the background, Morticia brushes her hair with a silver filigree brush.
Granny, where's your fog?
From above, the fog machine hurtles downward, missing decapitating Gomez by millimeters. It crashes below, smashing through the front porch roof. Cut to the interior of the entrance hall. Standing beside the front door is Lurch, the gigantic family butler, a reanimated, stitched-together behemoth. He holds 2 brown paper lunch bags in his enormous hands. The bag's contents wriggle, eager to escape.
You Lurch?
Pugsley takes his bag, opens it, and peers inside. Lurch growls, and Pugsley closes the bag. Cut to the exterior of a balcony outside Gomez and Morticia's bedroom. Gomez is hitting golf balls, Thing serving as his tea, while Morticia sips tea. One of the golf balls flies with incredible speed through the window of the Addams' only neighbor. This well-tended home sits on the hill overlooking the Addams family mansion like some Republican sentinel. We cut to the interior of the neighbor's home. Judge Womack, the Addams' crusty patrician neighbor, is having his breakfast when Gomez's golf ball lands in his cornflakes, shattering the bowl, covering him with milk. Judge Womack hurries to his broken window, shaking his fist.
Damn you, Addams!
Cut to exterior of Gomez and Morticia's balcony. From their vantage point, it appears to Gomez and Morticia that Judge Womack is waving to them. Gomez waves back.
Sorry about the window, Judge. Keep the ball. I have a whole bucket full.
He holds up a bucket of golf balls. He tosses his golf club to Thing, who deposits it in the golf bag. Gomez joins Morticia, watching the departing school bus.
The little ones off to school. Bless them.
They grow up so fast, don't they?
Too fast.
From their point of view, they see tires smoking. The school bus strains to chug down the road. Gleefully hanging from the rear bumper is Pugsley, dragging his heels. Inside the conservatory later that morning, Morticia, wearing gardening gloves, is snipping the blossoms off her roses. Gomez sits at a table, playing chess with Thing.
It's a milestone, Tish. This very evening, our 25th seance. All those years, gnawed by guilt, undone by woe, burning with uncertainty.
Oh, Gomez, don't torture yourself. That's my job.
Tish.
Imagine, darling, if Fester did come back, half alive, barely human, a rotting shell.
Don't tease.
Did we get it? Okay. Exterior of just outside the Addams grounds at the same time. Tully Alford, the family attorney, and his wife, Margaret, approach gate, a wrought iron monstrosity that opens of its own accord. Though Tully comes here often, and Margaret has been here before, they never cease to be startled by the gate. Tully has a puffy, once handsome face and an embittered gray aura that is the mark of a middle-aged misspent. High-strung and superficial, Margaret is more disappointed in Tully than he is in himself. Margaret passes through gate first. Then, as Tully passes through, gate slams on him, clipping him and catching the end of his coat. Tully fights gate for his coat.
Go.
Ignoring Tully, Margaret continues stiffly up the walk.
Give me that. Stop it. You can't do this to me. I'm clueless as dad. I'm warning you, it's not a good day.
Cut to the interior of the conservatory. Gomez moves a chess piece. Thing gestures out the window. Gomez and Morticia both look out. As they do, Thing moves 2 chess pieces, cheating.
Tully's here, darling.
Oh, that's Tully.
Romping with the gate.
Check.
Thing
Checkmate.
moves another piece and gestures in triumph.
Checkmate.
Outside the gate at the same time. Oops, sorry.
Tully, can't you keep up?
Trying.
Tully rips his coat to get it away from gate.
These are your last paying clients, may I remind you?
If it gives you pleasure.
Something has to, like a decent coat, something dressy for evening, ask for a loan. Beg.
No loans. I'm not a bum. Don't say it. I'll get the money. I've got a plan.
This is all so humiliating. Why did I marry you?
Because I said yes.
Margaret marches on toward the front door, skirting the fog machine as if it had every reason to be there. It hisses at Tully as he passes, splattering his trousers with fog. Cut to the entry hall. A little later, Tully hands his hat to Lurch and marches off toward Gomez's study. Finding herself alone with Lurch, Margaret is more nervous and intimidated than she would ever admit.
I'm here to see Mrs. Addams about the charity auction.
Growling, Lurch heads for the stairs. Screwing up her courage, Margaret resolutely follows. Cut to the interior of the Addams family portrait gallery. A little later, Tully stalks glumly along the hall and past the family portraits, generations of Addams grotesques and elaborate gilt frames heading toward the imposing doors of Gomez's study. On the floor lies a bare rug, eyes and mouth open. Tully, preoccupied, strides toward the rug. There's a sudden ferocious growl as he steps on it. He kicks at the rug. It bites him, clamping its jaws onto his trouser cuff. He flails, dancing around, finally managing to shake it off. He finds himself face to face with one of the paintings, a portrait of the teenage Fester Addams, draped in black crepe and holding a lit candle. Though how it is holding a lit candle is an utter mystery. At 15, Fester was utterly hairless with a dead white complexion and eyes rimmed in black like a raccoon's. The identifying plaque reads, Fester Addams, 1947 to ? Tully regards the portrait intently, almost as if having a premonition. The intricately carved doors to Gomez's study creak open, interrupting the reverie. Girding himself, Tully proceeds inside. We cut to the inside of Gomez's study at the same time. A saber slices through the air, its blade glinting. Tully's hand grabs for the hilt of the sword. He misses. The blade embeds in the wall with a thunk. It shudders.
Missed.
He leaps into frame, brandishing a saber. Tully backpedals and, as he pulls the sword from the wall, points to something behind Gomez.
What's that?
Gomez turns to see and Tully charges, wielding the sword as if he means to decapitate Gomez. But Gomez easily parries the blow.
Dirty pool, old man, I like it.
Gomez counters, driving Tully back. He shreds Tully's jacket.
Had enough?
They continue to fence. Gomez flips Tully's briefcase open and a sheaf of legal-looking papers spills out.
Where's my pen? Never mind, I'll use yours.
His blade finds the pen in Tully's inside jacket pocket. He does handsprings back to his desk, landing gracefully in his chair.
First, the old business.
He swivels, warding off another blow, then cavalierly continues the duel as he signs the legal documents scattered before him. Cut to the inside of the Addams attic. Morticia, Granny, and Margaret sort through Addams' possessions in trunks, boxed, stacked, covered with shrouds. Morticia opens a gigantic, elaborately carved armoire.
Perhaps it's in here.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
In the front of the armoire is an overstuffed garment bag labeled Uncle Knick-Knack's Winter Clothes.
Uncle Knick-Knack's winter wardrobe?
She carefully passes the garment bag to Granny, who chucks it aside. The next garment bag is marked
Uncle Knick-Knack's summer wardrobe.
She passes this garment bag to Granny, who chucks it aside also. Next in the armoire is a body bag.
Uncle Knick-Knack.
Morticia continues going through the armoire. Interior of Gomez's study at the same time, Gomez and Tully are still dueling, still signing. Gomez hasn't even broken a sweat.
I wish you'd drop by more often.
Tully doggedly fights on. His jacket has suffered more shredding from Gomez's blade.
I'd like to, but...
But what, old sport?
Oh, you know.
You know what?
I'm a bleeder.
Gomez stops dead at a document. Deftly, he disarms Tully, sending his saber flying up and out of view.
What's this, a new proposal? The Fester Addams Offshore Retirement Fund? What would they do?
What wouldn't they do? It's a very worthy cause now. Great addition to the other Fester's Addams funds.
Fester, all tribute to thee. Some called him inhumanely evil.
No.
Only our parents. I called him brother.
And his memory must live on forever. Through money. We'll deposit funds under my name for tax purposes.
Really? That's inspired.
He would have wanted it that way, beloved Fester.
The sword tumbles back into his hand. They resume dueling.
Indeed, for Fester.
For Fester, a brother.
My brother.
One of a kind.
The doctors all said...
Kind to animals, so good with children.
They never proved anything.
$1 million, the perfect amount.
It's brilliant.
It's untraceable.
But Tully, it's not old business. It's going to have to wait. You know the rules better than that.
What? But this is different. It's in my name. Make an exception.
Old business is old business, is new business is new business, and this...
Gomez holds up the proposal.
...is new business, and we don't discuss new business until again...
With one finger, he rifles through a desk calendar, flipping endless pages. He lands on a distant date.
Next quarter.
Next quarter, Tully has gone white.
Next quarter?
Tully goes to attack like an enraged bull. Gomez does a kung fu backflip out of his chair, just missing being run through by Tully's saber. The saber skewers the overstuffed chair, and carried by the momentum of the charge, Tully somersaults over the desk, colliding with the chair, landing on the floor.
Fine lunge, but your riposte a tad rusty.
Gomez carelessly flings away his sword. Thing, perched on a decorative samurai helmet, plucks the sword from the air and resheaths it.
Make yourself comfortable, old man, while I get my money for the monthly expenses.
Tully lies, ruined, on the floor. Gomez grabs Tully's briefcase and makes a brisk exit, closing the office doors behind him. Tully crawls to the doors and slides them open a crack, intent on spying on Gomez. Inside the den, at one of the floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, Gomez reaches for a book, pulling it partway from the shelf. We see the book's title, Greed. The entire shelf, a secret panel, revolves and deposits Gomez on the other side of the wall. Then it turns back to its original position. Tully gets to his feet, goes through the doors, and staggers for the bookcase. From behind the bookcase come the sounds of Gomez making his descent into the vault. Creaking, groaning, the sounds of chains and pulleys, vague animal howls, and splashing water. Cutting to inside the attic, the armoire has been totally emptied. Morticia looks over to the contents of a nearby shelf. Thing sits on the shelf, offering a bejeweled treasure.
There it is. Just what we've been searching for. Thank you, Thing.
Morticia passes Margaret the jewel-encrusted cylinder of webbed gold, dragon's heads with gaping jaws at either end. Margaret is at first afraid to touch it, but greed helps her get over it.
God, what is it?
A family heirloom. It's a finger trap from the court of Emperor Wu.
It must be worth a fortune. Look at those emeralds. Oh, Morticia, this is too extravagant, even for the auction.
Let's keep. Yeah.
Hush. It's for charity, widows, and orphans. We need more of them. Margaret?
Enchanted by the object, Margaret isn't listening. She inserts her fingers and they're instantly stuck.
The seance tonight. Won't you come? It's Gomez. I'm terribly worried. He won't eat. He can't sleep. He's been coughing up blood.
Coughs up blood?
Well, not like he used to.
Inside the den, at the bookshelf, Tully reaches for a book, approximately in the same place where Gomez unlocked the secret panel. But Tully's book comes out of its place on the shelf and nothing happens. Biting back his frustration, Tully reads the title, Gone with the Wind. He opens the cover. A hurricane blast of wind gusts from the open book, blowing Tully's hair straight up, rippling his facial muscles. He manages to close the book and, heart pounding, returns it to the shelf. He grins sheepishly at Lurch, who's been watching him from where he dusts in the hall, a feather duster in his gigantic hands. Cut to the inside of Gomez's study later. Tully's briefcase is now filled with greenish doubloons. Gomez, wearing a green accountant's eye shade, weighs a final handful of coins on an old-fashioned measuring scale, then tosses them into Tully's briefcase.
There, the monthly expenses.
Tully snaps the briefcase shut and hoists it from Gomez's desk. Its dead weight in his hand. Another hateful ordeal.
I don't suppose you have any paper money in that vault. Gomez, it's time for the new fund, a checkbook.
Never. The banks, I don't trust them. Strange people, Tully.
Really?
Not like you and me, or Fester. The seance, I need you here. For him.
Seance.
Tully lugs the briefcase toward the door.
8 o'clock. By the way...
Tully turns back. Gomez flips an extra doubloon across the room. It lands expertly in Tully's vest pocket.
I broke another of Judge Womack's windows this morning.
Tully resumes his put-upon march to the door. Outside Judge Womack's house, Tully is on the front steps. Judge Womack won't let him inside. And he's searching his pockets for the doubloon, helplessly enduring another of the judge's tongue lashings.
Still working for Addams. Mother warned you, Margaret. I can still hear her voice, clear as a bell. She used to always say, day in and day out, Mary Tully Alford.
And you'll hear Satan laugh. Here's your doubloon.
I'm stuck.
You lowlife. Are those emeralds?
Cut to the interior of Tully's law office. Tully enters the secretary's alcove, still lugging his impossibly heavy briefcase. His offices were once elegant, but now the leather on his chairs is starting to crack, and a repainting is long overdue. Tully looks around for his secretary.
Miss Bradbury. Miss Bradbury.
She's at lunch, Mr. Alford.
Alarmed, Tully steps into the interior of his office. Sitting in a chair on the client side of Tully's desk is Abigail Craven, an arrogant, aristocratic-seeming 60-ish doyen. Her steely will and conniving manipulativeness are barely veiled by a thin layer of polish and good manners. Instantly obsequious, Tully sets his heavy briefcase on his desk and shakes her hand.
Mrs. Craven, I was just about to call you.
I'm certain you were. You haven't met my son, Gordon. Have you, Mr. Alford?
Tully turns amiably, but his face falls at the sight of Gordon Craven. Fleshy and round, in his 40s, impeccably if eccentrically dressed, his dark hair plastered with pomade. With his barrel chest and his kamikaze demeanor, he is immediately threatening. Tully blanches.
Is this the one, Mother? The one deadbeat you mentioned?
Before Tully can react, Gordon has him by the throat, hanging him upside down from the wall like an oil painting.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This is physically impossible. You have to listen to me.
We do, Mr. Alford? And
Please,
why?
just hear me out.
Mother, your call.
Gordon and I enjoy a very special relationship. Like that. I'm wild about him.
She's a pip.
Refreshing, no? Down, Gordon.
Mother.
Gordon.
Gordon lets go, dropping him on his head. Whimpering, Tully crawls toward his desk.
And how is your wife, Mr. Alford? I've heard so much about her. Still charming? Still spending?
I don't have the money to repay you. I've tried everything.
We've lent you a considerable sum, many thousands of dollars. Payment due.
Soon, I promise.
Oh, Gordon, I want to believe him.
So do I.
He's so terribly trusting.
She's a saint.
Silly boy. Make me proud.
Briefcase. The balloons.
Oh no.
Share. Battered.
He lied to us, Mother.
It's not what you think. Those are doubloons for the Addams account.
Addams?
There's more. There's a fortune, but no one can get to it. Don't you think I've tried?
Have you? Have you tried hard enough? Ask him, sweetheart.
Gordon is on Tully menacing.
No, sweetheart, don't ask.
Oh no, let me take over until they get back.
Oh, hold on, they're back in. They're back in. They're back in. Okay.
Where are we?
Let's see. We're at
Tully's cringing POV.
Cool. Gordon's face hovers inches from his own. The glare from the light bulb hanging overhead whites out Gordon's hair, making Gordon look as bald as a cue ball. It's like a sudden vision. The inspiration is obviously born of terror. Gordon is the spitting image of the long-lost Fester, as he would appear 25 years later. Tully, disbelieving, comes nose to nose with Gordon.
Fester?
Gordon makes a face at his mother. Cut to the outside of the Addams mansion, silhouetted against the night sky, rain, thunder, and lightning. Inside the Addams mansion, Morticia stands at the open window. Gomez stands behind her, his arms around her waist.
Hailstones.
And lightning.
It's a miserable night.
I know, darling. Seance weather.
Morticia leans out the window.
Children, we're starting. Put that antenna down.
Another lightning flash. Inside a motel room at the same time, we see a typical rundown highway-style motel room with stained fiberglass curtains and a splotchy oil painting. Gordon is seated on the bed, facing a cracked mirror. Abigail stands behind him, consulting a picture of Fester that Tully has lent them.
It's uncanny, my little boy and this hideous creature.
Mother.
Handsome creation. Think of it, my angel. No more grubby storefront scams. No more loan sharking to scum like Tully Alford. All that delicious money, I can feel it right in my fingertips.
So can I.
Just 1 week, in and out. You locate the vault and then we're gone, poof, before they notice what's missing.
And Alfred?
We need him for now. And later, we'll be miles away and he'll take the rap.
You're so good.
Abigail holds up a shaving brush covered with foam.
Shaving a haircut, mister?
2 bits.
Gordon moans orgasmically as Abigail begins to shave him.
Worse than Mark's special room. I'm just gonna say
Do
it.
That was.
Do it, Patrick.
I don't know.
Poor
I
Patrick.
saw that. I saw that
Patrick.
sentence
Oh,
right
he's-
before I said it, and
Yep. I'm sorry, Pat.
We're moving along.
Moving on. Close enough.
heading to the interior of the entryway a few minutes later, Lurch peels off Margaret's and Tully's wet overcoats. Margaret wears the same clothes she wore on her earlier visit. The finger trap has made it impossible for her to change.
A miserable evening.
Don't add to it.
Wednesday has come to escort them. Tully tries to make conversation.
Big night for you guys. Hey, small fry.
Tully reaches out to pat Wednesday's head. She moves away.
Hello, sweetheart. Could you?
Wednesday deftly releases the trap from Margaret's fingers. Margaret is amazed. She tries to straighten her disheveled clothes.
Thank God. Call me a cab, Tully.
Okay, you're a cab. Ha ha. Get yourself.
Give me the car keys.
Give it a rest.
Morticia appears.
Welcome, honored guests.
Lurch presents a tray of vile-looking canapes. Morticia motions to the tray.
Entrails?
Cut to Lurch at his organ. He plays a crashing chord.
Let us gather in this house of yearning on this day of heartsick loss, at this table of woe. Is everybody comfortable?
Cut to the interior of the den. The family, Tully and Margaret, sit at a round table, the crystal ball in the center. In the background, Lurch continues to play mood music on the organ. Morticia holds a tarnished gold candle holder in the shape of a raven. The candle is in its belly, and the beams of light glow from its eyes.
Sing, O spirits, hearken all souls. Every year on this date, we offer a clarion call to Fester Addams.
Try it again Wednesday.
Piss.
Pugsley.
Pugsley has a meat cleaver aimed at his sister. Reluctantly, he hands it to Gomez.
Kids.
From generations to generations, our beacon to the beyond. Should not say that. Do you accept the glorious burden?
May it weigh me down through all my melancholy years.
All close eyes and join hands.
They do. Granny takes a squeamish Margaret's hand. Granny pulls away, leaving her hand behind, her sleeve apparently empty.
She got my hand. Give me my hand, girl.
Left holding thing, Margaret shrieks. Pugsley laughs appreciatively. Margaret tries to shake Thing off, but he hangs on tightly. Granny cackles.
It was me.
Ashen, Margaret tries to escape. Tully pulls her back to her seat.
Sit down, Pumpkin. Join the fun.
Mama, you should know better. Thing, you're a handful.
Get it? Thing lets go and runs off. Margaret sits, stiff as a corpse. Still chuckling, Granny takes a hold of Margaret's now rigid hand with her own real hand. Margaret shudders. With a last look around the table to ensure that everyone has settled down, Morticia resumes the seance.
Wednesday?
Let us ransom you from the powers of the grave. Tonight, O death, let us be your plague.
Mama?
I feel he's near. Fester, Addams, gather your strength and knock me out.
Outside the front door, we see Gordon's hand on the door knocker. Just his hand. He pounds 3 times, the heavy hollow sound reverberating. Inside the den, we see Granny's eyes pop open.
Did you hear that?
Ask again, Mama, quickly.
Lurch's organ music perfectly underscores and punctuates the scene.
By all means.
Tully smirks, barely able to contain his smug enthusiasm.
Ask.
Mr. Addams, I demand that you knock again.
Waiting for someone to answer, Gordon's hand again knocks 3 times, this time even harder. Inside the den, the knocking reverberates through the room. Jubilant, Gomez springs to his feet. Lurch hits a crescendo on the organ.
He's at the door.
He runs out and through the house to the entryway on the front stoop at the same time. His family at his heels, Gomez eagerly pulls open the front door. There on the front step stands Gordon, Fester from beyond. Gordon's head is completely shaved, and his clothing and pallor are pure Fester. The exact resemblance is a shocking, it seems a miracle. Gomez and Fester stare at each other. Fester's eyes have a hard, I dare you to question me, look in them. Neither man says a word.
Could it be?
Is that him?
Is it possible?
Oh my God.
Morticia looks to Gomez for confirmation. Gomez and Fester continue their face-off. Gomez breaks the stalemate.
Fester!
Gomez!
Gomez throws open his arms. He smothers Fester in an embrace. Fester endures it. Abigail steps forward. She now wears a plain, dowdy suit, and her hair is in braided coils. She now speaks in a German-Austrian accent.
Good evening. I am Dr. Penderfield.
Inside the drawing room a short while later, Fester stands by the tall baronial fireplace where an enormous fire burns. Steam rises off of his wet greatcoat, enveloping him. He seems immobile, a pair of shining black ferret eyes, calculating. Pugsley stands nearby, beside Fester's steamer trunk, studying the exotic decals.
How did this happen? How did it come to be? This story, it is most amazing. and also beautiful. He was found in Miami, tangled in the tuna net. It was last month during the Hurricane Elga. The sky, it was black like pitch. The waves, they were walls of doom. Can you imagine? Then they drag him from the ocean, from the very jaws of oblivion. I'm telling you, there are tests, so many tests, and a complete psychological profile. At long last, the Florida Department of Fish und the game. They say, lo und behold, my oh my God, tell it on the mountaintop. He is your brother. Boom. They give him to me at Human Services, and I am bringing him after all these years, after who knows what heartache, after the naked und the dead. I am bringing him home to you.
Bravo, bravo!
That's preposterous.
Margaret?
Colleen nudges her in the ribs to shut up.
But don't you think that's absurd?
Honey.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Blossom.
It certainly is.
Gomez slaps Fester companionably. Fester hates being touched.
And now you're back.
Back to share your joys, to share your sorrows, back to share, well, hey, everything.
I just don't know.
Tully hands Margaret the finger trap to distract her.
I mean, how does this work again?
Infant would understand.
Margaret, disgusted with Tully, demonstrates the finger trap. Her fingers are instantly stuck again.
Fester Addams, home at long last.
Well, at least for a week.
A week?
Don't be ridiculous. You're home.
Sorry, but I have to get back. I've got things cooking in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, Gomez, the Bermuda Triangle.
Devil's Island.
The black hole of Calcutta.
Excuse us.
Second honeymoon.
At the steamer trunk, Pugsley is disintegrating the lock with a beaker full of acid and an eyedropper.
Dr. Pinderschloss, will you be staying too?
No, I really must be going, but I will be back, you can bet, to be checking on Fester's adjustment.
The acid has eaten away the lock on Fester's trunk. Pugsley opens the trunk a crack. He fishes among the contents, his arm inside up to the shoulder. Something snaps. He grins, then pulls out his hand. His fingers are crushed in a rusty, ferocious-looking bear trap.
Cool.
Wednesday alone stands apart in her mournful fashion. She is instinctively suspicious of this new Fester.
Nobody gets out of the Bermuda Triangle, not even for vacation. Everyone knows that.
Oh, my little one, there is so much you do not understand the human spirit. It is a hard thing to kill.
Even with a chainsaw. Sorry, I got disconnected, had to get back in. There was some stuff going on, but I made it. Hey.
Hey, you're good.
It's a seance.
Abigail pinches Wednesday's cheek hard. Wednesday continues to stare at Fester. Later inside Fester's room, Morticia has shown Fester to his room. As she speaks, the camera lingers on the following photographs atop the bureau. A picture of Fester and Gomez as young boys, each in a doggy-carrying cage, being held by their father. Father stands beside a crude wooden sign with Camp Custer branded into it. Gomez and Fester as boys, proudly sitting on the lap of a bound and gagged Santa Claus. Morticia begins to open Fester's trunk and go through it.
Unpacking. You must be exhausted. Let me.
No, that's all right. You don't have to.
Morticia begins removing Fester's burglary equipment from the trunk.
A crowbar, dynamite, cyanide, Fester, as if we'd run out. Good night.
She exits. Fester examines the two photographs in a hand-tooled leather frame on the bureau. Imprinted below the face of the beautiful girl on the left is the name Flora. Below the beautiful girl on the right is Fauna. It's clear that they are identical twins. The clock in the hall strikes midnight. It's time to go to work. He opens the door to his room and peeks out. He sees Wednesday in her doorway across the hallway, staring back at him. He whips back into his room.
Nosy little brat.
Frustrated, he looks out again. Wednesday's door is shut. He looks both ways. Cut to the interior of the attic. As the trapdoor rises on the attic floor, Fester's head appears. Fester climbs into the attic. As he does, the camera pans around the room, taking in the piles of odd objects and memorabilia. Fester approaches a set of glass cases. Angle on the first case. The case contains a set of mounted butterflies pinned in place. On the second, larger case, there are several stuffed vampire bats. In the third, still larger case, this one was about 3 feet high and fairly wide. It is empty.
It's preserved.
The camera pulls back. Wednesday stands near the trapdoor, staring at Fester, who stands by the empty case. Fester is startled, but tries to act calm.
It's reserved? For what?
Or Skipper.
For Skipper? Is he a dog?
No, Skipper isn't a dog. That'd be cruel.
Of course not. I'm sorry.
He's a bully.
Fester stares at Wednesday and backs away from her. Inside Fester's room, we see Fester running back into his room and shutting the door. Wednesday has obviously unnerved him. He sits on the edge of the bed. A cloud of dust billows around him. Yawning, he lies down, sinking into the mattress so deeply that he's almost buried alive. Getting comfortable, he burrows deeper. A close-up on Fester's eyes. Who knows what terrors they've seen? But now they lose their coldness, getting dreamy. Then he hears the creak of his door opening.
Who's there?
He sees a shadow thrown huge on the wall. A sinister hand with wriggling fingers. Fester goes for the knife he keeps in his boot, which is next to the bed on the floor. The door slams. Veins in his forehead bulge. The window explodes open. The wet wind snuffs the candelabra light. There's only the sound of Fester's animal panting. Then lightning illuminates the hand gripping the bedspread. There's a vague flickering from one of the candles. Fester seizes it and nurses the flame, using it to relight the rest of the candles. As the room fills with candlelight, Fester sees Thing sitting on one of his legs. Fester jumps with fear, pushing against the backboard. He shakes his leg, violently throwing Thing off. He screams. Cut to the inside of Morticia and Gomez's bedroom. Gomez and Morticia snuggle in bed in the afterglow of their celebration, her head resting dreamily on his shoulder. Gomez enjoying a post-coital cigar. Fester's scream is heard distinctly from down the hall.
My own dear brother, I've got goosebumps.
I know.
Screams in the night, it can only mean one thing.
They wait, listening. Fester screams again.
He's home.
They gaze together out into the torrential downpour as Fester continues to scream. They both smile. Cut to the interior of Fester's room. Obviously moved, Gomez stands in Fester's room watching him sleep. Thing snoozes on Fester's chest like a kitty cat. Gomez gently lifts him and tucks him into the pocket of his smoking jacket. Instantly awake, certain that Gomez is about to attack him, Fester leaps from the bed, jumps Gomez, and pins him to the floor. Pulling the knife from his boot, he presses the blade against his throat.
Breakfast?
Gomez judo flips Fester off his chest, then springs to his feet.
Damn, it's good to have you back. Let's go.
He leads the way out, then pauses and turns.
2 out of 3.
Cutting to the Addams kitchen. The family eats breakfast in the subterranean kitchen. Only Pugsley is missing. The wall, sweat and smoke crawls along the floor. Granny works at a stove that's a coal-burning monstrosity. Flames belch out of the oven. The top is a gigantic grill where innards and various unidentifiable somethings sizzle. Throughout, Granny flips these ovals into family members' plates. Lurch assists her. Morticia has seated Fester between Gomez and herself. She's given him an elaborate pewter place setting with a dragon motif, obviously saved for honored guests.
May I have the salt?
What do we say?
Now.
Morticia smiles approvingly and passes Wednesday the salt.
What is
Ah,
this?
cat! Sorry. Sorry.
What is this?
Mama's speciality. De la maison.
Starting with the eyes.
Sleep well.
Like the dead.
Really? Who knew the Bermuda Triangle could change a man so much? You used to toss and turn all night. We'd had to chain you the bedposts.
It doesn't make sense.
Fester had no idea a simple exchange could be so fraught with pitfalls. He already feels cornered.
The Bermuda Triangle is such a large and mysterious place. You'd be surprised all the things you don't know.
She certainly would. Wednesday adores the Bermuda Triangle. She studies it. Death at sea, she's hooked.
Ask me anything.
Fester turns his back on Wednesday and addresses Gomez.
Being in my old room sure brings back memories. Remember Camp Custer?
For preteen offenders?
And I was thinking about Christmas.
Waiting for Santa to come down the chimney.
Hanging our stockings.
Building a fire.
Gomez and Fester laugh mischievously.
Aren't memories precious? I'd like to spend today wandering the house, remembering.
No. Sorry, old man. No wandering today. Today we're going straight to the vault.
Pugsley runs into the room, dragging a freshly stolen stop sign still on its pole. Gomez holds up a finger, shushing everyone. Just then, the screeching sound of cars heading for a collision is heard. Finally, the cars collide. There's a satisfying crunch of metal. Everyone beams.
Who wants seconds?
Something in Granny's soup tureen yelps. Granny, keeping her eyes on Fester, jabs her ladle into the tureen.
Don't be shy now.
Cut to the interior of the den. Gomez and Fester are in front of the bookcase that's the entrance to the vault. Gomez reaches for a book. Fester is right there with him, his hand on Gomez's hand, as he goes to pull out the old volume. Fester reads the title.
Read.
They share a smile. The bookcase swings open. Fester eagerly follows Gomez inside. Inside the secret chamber, moments later, Gomez runs gleefully down a flight of steps.
I feel like we're children again.
Gomez reaches a small circular room. Gomez looks up. Over his head hang hundreds of rusty chains. Gomez grabs one of the chains. As he does so, he punches Fester on the shoulder.
Tag, you're it.
Gomez pulls the chain, and he and Fester drop out of view through a trapdoor. Interior beneath the second secret chamber, Gomez and Fester are sliding down a twisting slide. Gomez is gleeful. Fester is petrified. We cut to an underground river. The slide deposits Gomez and Fester on a dock leading to the underground river. Gomez is all high spirits while Fester is wobbly.
Smell that air, Fester.
Fester inhales dutifully. He gags.
Like a tomb.
Gomez strides to the end of the dock. Waiting there is a Venetian gondola, run down but still magnificent. Gomez does a running leap to board it. He puts on a straw gondolier's hat and calls out to Fester.
Tutti al bordo, fratello mio. The sea, your second home.
Fester boards the gondola gingerly, looking queasy.
Ship ahoy.
Gomez winds an old Victrola as he sorts through a pile of 78s. He puts the needle down on a record and begins to sing along in a bellowing basso profundo. He sets sail, pulling down to the underground river. At the same time in the attic, Wednesday and Pugsley are exploring, investigating various items.
Do you think that's really Uncle Fester?
Father says so, but I think Mother isn't sure.
Wednesday stands in front of an electric chair.
Pugsley, sit in the chair.
Why?
So we can play a game.
What game?
It's called Is There a God?
Cut to the entrance to the vault. Still singing, Gomez pulls toward a massive metal door 6 feet across and 10 feet high, set right into the rock of the grotto. Gomez docks at the narrow ledge in front of the door. He leaps into the ledge and Fester follows. He's getting excited now, wondering what treasures exist behind this door.
The vault?
Gomez goes to work on the oversized combination lock.
2 to the right, 10 to the left, and then around 2,
5?
11. 2, 10, 11. Eyes, fingers, toes.
Fester licks his lips in anticipation.
So many years.
Long, barren years.
Years that we wasted.
Years we'll bring back.
We enter together, a triumphant return.
We enter as brothers. We enter
as one.
Gomez slowly opens the door, revealing, rather than a treasure trove, it looks like a decrepit 19th century men's club, torn red leather chairs and settees, an assortment of torture devices and hunting trophies, an elaborate bar with a cracked mirror.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Our secret place, Sancta Sanctorum. If these walls could talk, eh, old man?
What would they say?
You tell me.
You go first.
Senior partner.
Junior spaceman.
First a brandy. Do the honors. I've got a real treat in store.
Where is it, you ridiculous imbecile?
There are a half dozen excellent brandies on the well-stocked shelf. Fester pockets a silver jigger and then chooses a bottle, and the bar spins around with Fester, revealing the interior treasure room, a stone cavern stacked high with Addams' treasure. Gold, jewels, bizarre but priceless statuary from around the world. Fester gets one slack-jawed glimpse and the bar spins again, depositing him back in the outer room. Gomez has been too busy digging through the box to have noticed Fester's carousel ride. He turns, his arms overflowing with film cans.
Showtime!
And with shaking hands, Fester pours himself a stiff drink and replaces the bottle on the shelf. Inside the attic, Wednesday is strapping Pugsley's arms and legs into the electric chair.
If he's not Uncle Fester, then who is he?
Somebody else.
Wednesday pushes a button, and the lights in the chair go on. The entire mechanism hums and vibrates.
It has to warm up.
Why?
So it can kill you.
I knew that.
Cut to the inside of the outer treasure room. Gomez is running home movies. He and Fester sit in side-by-side armchairs with the stuffing coming out. They smoke cigars and drink brandy from extra-large snifters. On the home movie screen, the young Gomez and Fester, shark fins strapped to their backs, sneak around a corner toward a swimming pool crowded with kids. The film then jump cuts to young Gomez has buried young Fester in the sand at the beach. Only Fester's head appears from beneath a mound. A few yards away, a single hand struggles out of the sand, clearly another person. The film jump cuts to a handheld 16mm camera weaving its way through a group of ballgoers, finally focusing on a head and shoulder shot of Gomez and Fester, now in their teens. The Addams boys look both sinister and dashing in their tuxedos, and Gomez is already smoking his trademark cigar.
Here, the debutante ball. Remember that fateful night?
Of course! Your first cigar.
What? Come on, old man. I've smoked since I was 5. Mother insisted.
On the screen, the boys flank their dates, the twins from the pictures on Fester's bureau. Beautiful redheads with dementia in their eyes. Throughout, the twins are seen only from the waist up.
Flora and fauna. Quite the pair, eh, Gomez?
Gomez sighs and then becomes extremely dramatic.
Can you ever forgive me?
What?
I didn't love them, yet I wooed them both out of foolish pride. You were so dashing. You could have any woman you wanted, dead or alive. I was jealous, insanely jealous. I admit that now, but I never meant to drive you off, not to the Bermuda Triangle.
Water under the bridge. Forgiven, forgotten.
Gomez holds out his arms. Fester endures the hug. Gomez turns the hug into a painful headlock, and Fester gasps for breath.
Say it. Say the password.
The password?
Come on, stop fooling. You remember.
Please, I'm joking. Please.
Gomez, perplexed, releases Fester.
You forgot our secret password? The one we used 100 times a day. Our special private name for each other?
That was a long time ago. We were children. You almost killed me, you demented freak!
Did you say demented freak?
Yes, you demented freak!
Fester has accidentally hit on the password. Gomez lights up, and he flings open his arms.
Demented freak!
Cut to the interior of the attic. The electric chair is really humming. Pugsley now has the chair's helmet on as well. Wednesday is about to throw the huge master switch.
But why would Dr. Pindersloss tell a lie?
She wants something. Do you have a last request?
Can I have ice cream?
No.
Then just do it.
As Wednesday is about to throw the switch, Morticia's head appears from the trapdoor.
Children, what are you doing?
Morticia climbs up into the attic.
I'm going to electrocute him.
But we're late for the charity auction.
Mother.
I said no.
Please.
Oh, all right.
She smiles and flips the switch. Angle on Wednesday's face as we hear the sound of high voltage sizzling Pugsley. Wednesday is very solemn, her usual impassive self, and then a smile breaks through. Cut to the interior of the Bayshore Women's Club, with a close-up on the finger trap, jewels glittering. Then Margaret Alford, who blushes, standing on the auction block as if she were the item up for auction. She holds her hands aloft, fingers still ensnared in the ancient finger trap. She wears the same disheveled dress, unable to disguise its sleep-dim look. On the stage beside her, Judge Womack acts as the event's auctioneer. He reads into the mic from the catalog.
Encrusted with rubies and 15 emerald chips. It was donated by Morticia and Gomez Addams.
Gomez and Morticia sit with their family. They look around modestly. Reaction shots of various people in the crowd staring at the Addams family in horror and disbelief.
Remember, the money we raise goes to help those less fortunate. This year, over half our proceeds will benefit the elderly and mentally disabled.
All the Addamses look at Granny proudly. She beams.
I opened the bidding at 5,000 doll hairs.
All right.
Doll hairs?
Bah, not enough.
He thrusts up his arm.
20,000.
For the elderly and insane. They've earned it.
Judge Womack is surprised at the bid. Next to him, Margaret looks confused.
What are they doing? It's theirs.
Judge Womack gives her a look that says, "Shut up." Angle on Pugsley. He has a pea shooter in his mouth, aimed at Judge Womack. Wednesday glares at her brother and holds out her hand. He sheepishly passes her the pea shooter.
I have 20.
25. Caramia.
Fester takes Morticia's opera glasses and peers appraisingly at the glittering finger trap. He smiles greedily.
25.
Morticia bashfully raises her hand.
30. Mon sauvage.
Margaret pesters the Judge Womack.
What are they doing?
Judge Womack shushes her. Angle on Wednesday, who now has the pea shooter in her mouth, aimed at Judge Womack. Granny gives her a stern look, and Wednesday sheepishly hands Granny the pea shooter. Gomez raises his hand.
35. Eris Divina.
Margaret is increasingly agitated.
I don't understand.
Morticia raises her. Morticia has raised her arm. She lowers it, but keeps it extended for Gomez to kiss. He does so passionately. The flabbergasted Judge Womack repeats breathlessly.
I have $50,000.
Your turn, my ecstasy.
It's yours, amore mio.
You spoil me, mon amour.
Gomez utters a little cry of wild passion. Judge Womack hammers his gavel as Margaret's jaw drops.
Sold to Morticia Addams for $50,000.
Judge Womack shakes his head in disgust. As he does so, a projectile hits his neck. He yelps and grabs his neck. Angle on Granny with the pea shooter in her mouth. She has clearly just scored the hit on Judge Womack. She and the children share a conspiratorial smile. A cut to the interior of Duesenberg. Close up on the finger trap, the jewels glinting in the passing lights. Fester has his fingers trapped in it. He stares at it, almost as if he were hypnotized. Morticia, beside him, admires it also.
Isn't it too enchanting?
Fester pulls his fingers, trying to free them.
How do you take it off?
Morticia releases it for him.
Perhaps Morticia is frozen?
Hello? Hello?
There she is.
There's a trick to it, of course.
Gomez shares a look with Wednesday, then leans forward from his place on the other side of Morticia and, eyebrows knitted, frowns at Fester. Cut to the interior of the dining room later. Gomez's elaborate model train layout fills the room. The Lionel train races through the remains of a strip-mined mountain terrace. Thing gallops into view around one of the mountains, then paces back and forth in front of Gomez's Transformers.
How do you take it off? That's absurd. The finger traps were a party favor at his 10th birthday.
Gomez demonically starts his second train, setting it on a sure collision course with the first. Inside Fester's room, preparing to go to the vault, Fester, with cool professionalism, slips his safe-cracking tools into the bandoliers strapped across his chest. He reaches into the drawer for the nitroglycerin and comes up with a photo of the young Fester and Gomez being brought home from Camp Custer by the UPS man. He stares at the picture, then tosses it aside as if touching it burned him. He picks up the nitro and proceeds with his preparations. In the dining room, puffing black smoke, the model trains race toward one another, toward the inevitable. His emotions churning like the locomotive wheels, Gomez rants to Thing.
He wore that finger trap for 2 years. Mother had to teach him how to eat with his feet, and the combination, and the password, and my cigar, and he slept so well.
Thing paces furiously. Cut to the kitchen. Granny sits at the table reading cookbooks. There's a stack of books on the table. 2 of them are propped up. Granny reads from the first book. We see the title, The Joy of Cooking. She turns to the second book and we see the title, Grey's Anatomy. The sound of Gomez's train has begun to resound throughout the house. As Granny reads, a train whistle pierces the night and the kitchen table shakes. Granny looks up from her reading. Inside Pugsley's room, Morticia is seated on the bed. She has a photo album on her lap. Wednesday and Pugsley, in pajamas, sit beside her looking at the album.
Is that father when he was little?
Yes, and that's Uncle Fester.
Where are they?
At a birthday party. See the fire trucks?
From Gomez's train room, we hear a voice howl, "All aboard!" followed by another whistle blast.
Oh no.
Father's playing with his trains.
He must be upset.
It's always a bad sign. Hobbies.
Cut to the inside of the library. Grimly determined, Fester removes the well-worn copy of Greed from the shelf, and the secret panel opens. He's headed for the vault. Inside the dining room, the model trains whistle at full blast, shrieking in warning as they round Dead Man's Curve, heading for each other. From inside one of the trains, a little passenger looks out. He passes Gomez, still raving, almost to the boiling point.
These thoughts, I'm in torment. What is the truth? What is fiction?
Thing pounds the table in frustration. Cut to Lurch's bedroom. Lurch is sitting up in his too small bed, wearing his nightshirt and cap. He is sewing a button on a shirt, a gentle giant. The chug of the trains now shakes the entire house. Lurch's needle slips from the noise, and he pricks his finger. He sucks on his finger, looking troubled. Inside the secret chamber, Fester is at the interior wall. He pushes against it, seeing if that will make it turn. Then he remembers. He looks above, and there hang the countless chains, each with a rusted metal grip on the end. Which chain to pull? From far above in the house, Fester hears the distant train whistle. He randomly yanks one of the chains. The chain yanks back, pulling Fester straight upwards. With a screech of pulleys and gears, the chain rockets him, hanging on for dear life, toward a narrow gap in what may or may not be a ceiling. Fester disappears into the gap. Inside Pugsley's room, Morticia and the children are listening to the sounds of the trains, now a chugging, whistling cacophony.
He's using the diesel.
A shrill blast is heard.
Covered bridge.
Another blast.
Dead Man's Curve.
I know what he's worried about.
So do I, darling. But let's go to bed. Now, have you brushed your teeth and washed behind your ears?
I did. I'm sorry.
Another blast.
Is that man really Uncle Fester?
Uncle Fester whooshes through the floor-to-ceiling piranha tank. Only Morticia sees this. Inside the dining room, the train crash is imminent.
Spirits above me, give me a sign. Shall I be joyous or shall I be damned?
The trains collide. Metal rends, smoke and flames. Cut to the exterior of the yard. A coal chute set in the side of the house drops open, depositing the soaked, disoriented Fester at the feet of Morticia. Silhouetted by the full moon, she stands regally above him, waiting for him, her velvet cloak covering her nightclothes.
Sleepless night? Walk with me, Fester.
She turns and glides away. Fester has no choice but to follow. Cut to the back of the house, the cemetery. Morticia leads Fester into the chill of the cemetery. They follow a path that winds among the elaborate tombstones of the Addams dead. Gomez's golf balls are everywhere, on the ground, in statues' upturned hands, and their open mouths. As they pass them, Morticia points out various monuments. The marble statues look so real they could be alive.
Aunt Laborgia, executed by a firing squad. Cousin Fledge, torn limb from limb by 4 wild horses. And darling Uncle Elmer.
Uncle Elmer's a hooded executioner with an upraised axe. There is an unearthly moan, seeming to come from the tomb.
Buried alive, psychopaths, fiends, mad dog killers, roots, Fester, pioneers, lest we forget.
Among the statuary is a marble vulture, posed with the dignity of an eagle on a flagpole, but the flagpole is actually a replica of Fester's bald head.
Your beloved Muerto, after you left, he was simply a different vulture. He wouldn't circle, he wouldn't peck. That's how much you mean to this family.
They reach the mausoleum where Mother and Father Addams lie. It stands on a knoll, the highest point in the cemetery. Poison ivy covers the dilapidated Greco-Roman tomb. Mother and Father Addams have been depicted as a god and a goddess, charioteers driving their steeds to the netherworld. Father Addams smoked the ubiquitous Addams cigar. Morticia gazes up at the likeness of Mother and Father Addams, but Fester averts his eyes. The faces seem to be staring directly at him.
Mother and Father Addams, imagine what we owe them. Oh, Fester, how I wish the children could have known them better. But tell that to an angry mob.
She turns to trace the family crest, carved into the mausoleum. The top of the crest is a vulture. The background is composed of 3 lions' heads. In one panel, a huntsman holds open the lion's head. In another panel, the lion has swallowed him up to his torso. In the last panel, the lion has swallowed the huntsman completely, but for one dangling foot. On a banner at the bottom is the family motto in Latin.
3 lions rampant, the vulture ascent, and our credo. All of this stuff that I don't understand. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us with their nut cake. Not just pretty words. As an Addams, you completely understand, don't you?
She stares levelly at him.
As an Addams, yes, I do.
Good night, Fester.
She heads toward the house. She turns.
Rest in peace.
Cut to the inside of the hallway early the next morning. Fester is on the phone, hunched over, his eyes darting to make sure no one overhears.
They're on to me. I'm almost sure. Of course, I've tried. I can't find it. You've got to get over here.
Wednesday is bound and gagged on a chair in the background. Pugsley runs up to Fester with 2 bottles of poison. Fester, vaguely impatient, points to one. Pugsley nods and runs off.
Don't say that. You know that I do.
Cut to the inside of the Addams kitchen. Granny and Lurch are doing the dishes. Granny rinses and Lurch dries. Lurch then hands each dish to Thing, who stacks them. Morticia sits at the kitchen table, sipping a cup of tea. Wednesday stands before Morticia, holding up a large, nasty-looking carving knife.
Is that for your brother?
Wednesday nods.
I don't think so.
Morticia hands Wednesday a much larger, even nastier-looking knife. Wednesday takes the knife and exits.
His trains are everywhere. The children are besides themselves. This can't go on. How can I help? Tell me, Mama.
Well, let's look it up.
Granny wipes her hands and opens a large, ragged, leather-bound book. She starts thumbing through the pages.
Troubled hands, troubled husbands, adultery.
The fuck?
Financial money troubles.
No.
Turned into a toad or a reptile.
Is there an index?
Here it is. Suspicion and anxiety in husbands.
What does it say?
Drain his blood, replace it with vinegar overnight. Leave a headless rooster beneath his pillow. Smear his forehead, his palms, hands, and feet with the tears of a stillborn monkey. And add milk. Sounds simple enough.
I can't do that. It's barbaric. Really, Mama, I am surprised at you. Milk.
Lurch growls in agreement.
Use chocolate milk if you prefer, but it say milk.
No milk.
Cut to the interior of Uncle Fester's bedroom. Fester is sitting on the bed, kneading his hands, very upset. Abigail is calmly inspecting the room, studying various objects with disdain.
They know I'm a fraud. The whole bunch. It's not going to work.
Who knows? Gomez, that overheated moron?
He's no moron. He's Fester's brother. They had the same awful fight years ago. He's suspicious. They all are. I can tell.
Really? Well, thank God I came over. I can counsel the troubled family, ease their distress. It's my calling. Remember, Gordon?
What?
I'm a doctor.
Cut to the inside of the Addams drawing room. Gomez and Morticia sit with Abigail.
Dr. Pinderschloss is here to help. Should Gomez speak with Fester? He's right outside the door.
I would speak with Fester.
Gomez gets up and stalks toward the door, talking louder and louder.
If that were Fester, but that's not. That's an imposter. An imposter.
Outside the door, Fester hears and storms off. In the upstairs hallway, Fester is marching toward his room when he hears...
Oh, villain, villain, smiling damned villain.
Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face?
If I must strike you dead, I will.
Fester gets a genuine gleam in his eye.
Bloodshed?
He hurries back to the top of the staircase and looks down into the front hall, where, swords drawn, dueling, Wednesday backs Pugsley in. Pugsley and Wednesday thrust and parry, hack and slice. Pugsley runs Wednesday through. She staggers, then falls dead.
No. Give me that sword.
Pugsley hands him the sword.
Haven't you slaughtered anyone?
Only a child.
No excuse. Aim for the major arteries, the jugular.
That's what I said.
Inside the drawing room, Gomez is still raving.
A faker, a phony, an utter fraud, a base, deceitful...
Mr. Addams, I believe I am understanding. I will help. Yeah? The theory of displacement, is this familiar?
No, Tish.
Morticia shakes her head.
It is too exciting, I will explain.
Is it unpleasant?
Deeply.
Gomez sits beside Morticia and takes her hand. They are both fascinated.
Your very own brother, you drive him away. Go, off with you. But then you are feeling the thick black monster.
Pugsley.
Guilt, yeah? Maybe. Your brother returns, you feel guilty, you displace.
I do.
Of course.
The feelings in your brain cells, they bubble and they collide. You suspect things, you love him, but you resent him. Love, hate, hate, love. Like for mama, no? I got French, sorry.
I didn't hate my mother, it was an accident.
It is a very common psychosis. I am seeing it every day.
Lucky doctor.
Displacement, how bizarre. And here, I imagine Fester was the problem. He's sullen.
He's furtive.
He's backstabbing.
He sulks.
I suspect him.
You're unbalanced.
And I hate him.
But that's love.
By God, you're right. He is Fester.
Gomez is suddenly jubilant again.
Thank you, Dr. Pinderschloss.
I do what I can.
Cut to the inside of Wednesday's room. Fester is seated on a leather couch. Pugsley and Wednesday are snuggled up on either side. They're all looking at an enormous ancient book, which Fester holds open in his lap. Close up on the book's cover, which reads, Wounds, Scars, and Gouges.
You see, children, there's a lot to learn. Gangrene.
Well, Fester, how do you know so much?
I've been around. I pick things up.
And the Bermuda Triangle?
Look, children, a new chapter.
Oh, boy.
Scabs.
Cut to, an explosion fills the screen as dirt and debris go flying. As the smoke clears, we angle on Fester, crouched over a detonator. He has clearly just caused the explosion. Wednesday and Pugsley stand or crouch beside him.
3 parts dynamite with a nitroglycerin cap. It's perfect for small homes, carports, and tool sheds.
About picnics?
Fester smiles approvingly. He reaches into a crate and holds up a hand grenade. The children's eyes sparkle as if it were Christmas Day. Angle on the window of Fester's room, high above Fester and the children. Abigail stands at the window looking out. She is not pleased. Cut to inside Fester's room.
Everyone will be at the children's play tonight, correct?
Oh, yes. I've been working with them. It's going to be fun.
Fun? Fun? Is that what we're here for? Fun?
She slaps Fester, then she immediately grabs him and hugs him.
darling, I'm sorry. You see what they've driven to. I've raised a hand to my child, my reason to live. You can't go to the play.
But the kids.
The house will be deserted. The vault will be ours.
But
Abigail hugs Fester's head to her bosom.
You're welcome. Can you hear it, my treasure? My heartbeat, it beats only for you. Listen closely. It says, Gordon, I love you. Gordon, the vault.
I do hear it.
Soon we'll have the money and we'll be far from here. Loving mother, grateful son. This is no time for theater. Understood?
Cut to the exterior of the roof that evening. Fester stands alone, looking out over the cemetery, brooding.
There you are, at last.
Gomez joins Fester at the railing.
What a fool I was to doubt you. Dr. Pinderschloss explained everything. What a lovely woman, so chilly. Displacement, it's a common psychosis. Isn't that grand?
Is it?
Gomez slaps an arm around him.
Look at it, Fester.
Beaming, Gomez gazes down into the cemetery. It is morbid and magnificent in the moonlight. The swamp bubbles. Patches of fog crawl. Unidentified beasties gambol.
The primeval ooze, quicksand, fumes, toxic waste. It's all ours, Fester. You belong here, old man.
You don't know what you're asking. You have a beautiful wife, wonderful kids, a wasteland. I'm in the way.
In the way? A brother?
Gomez, take care. For you, life is all fun and games, a dance in the graveyard, stench and decay. But things change.
Precisely, you're back. Those years apart, Fester, we can't do that again. You're home.
Gomez holds out his hand. Thing is there with a golf club. Gomez passes the club to Fester. Thing supplies Gomez with another club. The two men hit golf balls off the roof and over the cemetery, into the darkness. In the distance, off screen, we hear the sound of a window breaking.
Four!
Damn you, Addams!
And that's Act 1. Oh my God. I don't know about y'all, but I missed this.
Yeah, a lot.
Everybody is firing on all cylinders tonight. Like, we'll talk. We will be back at 8:50 for Act 2. We'll learn more about who this is benefiting. And yeah, see you all in about 15-ish minutes.
Thank you, 15.
You're killing it. You both are killing it. Anybody else want to come on and get compliments?
All right, I'm back. Got my ears in.
First of all, I have to say that I haven't worn a fucking wig in God knows how long since being on stage, and then this Spirit Halloween wig is not it at all.
They normally aren't, and you know what's hilarious is I'm holding one in my hand right now.
It's like synthetic. Like I'm afraid that like it's gonna catch fire and
probably will.
It's like hot
I heard
and
something about coming back for compliments.
it's like every year.
Oh wait, what's happening? I put my phone on my boob for 30 seconds, and y'all have like 800 things.
Okay. Also,
So we talk a lot.
we talk a lot.
I would love to
especially
do
when
a
we
foreign
get
film. I think that would be so much fun.
We could
Foreign film?
Like what are we
Well,
talking?
accent film is what we're
Well,
Ooh.
Ooh,
who
Just
said
Kelsey.
foreign film? Wednesday said foreign film.
Yeah, we should do a foreign film and then just let the chaos ensue.
What is the accent I'm doing?
Oh my God, Tracy Turnblad?
No, this is the Elvira wig.
Are
Oh.
you doing that for Ophelia Addams?
I could do it for that. I could also, if you want to do the oots and whatever for Cousin It, I can easily just dangle it in front of the camera.
Oh, see, I have this ready.
Ready.
Okay, can I also just say for the record, I'm only taking this off because since I have so much downtime, I'm gonna tease her a little bit. She's been sitting in a bag for almost a week.
Say hi, Sid.
Hi, Sid.
Hi, Sid.
That kick looked
Have we gotten the call yet?
amazing.
So they're doing text. So there's like 150 kids, and they have to go over each test with Grandmaster Chung, and then as he approves it, they get text. So some of his friends have gotten text, and some of them haven't.
Oh my God.
So we're simulating. It's literally.
That's terrifying.
Oh, she froze up again.
She froze. It lit.
Froze. I heard throws.
That is
and I was
not
like,
the
who's
greatest
throwing
frozen
up?
pose for Mom. I'm just saying.
No.
Bless.
Listen.
Wait, hold on. Let's all do it. Hold on.
Seven. So
Oh no. She didn't-
Okay,
didn't
so
hear.
Oh,
we
she's
have-
back. She's back. Nobody
You
look at her.
froze during the middle of the word literally, so I don't know how much you said past literally.
literally.
The word September.
So scoring like 10 is like teacher status, like all the masters, and I froze again. I'm frozen.
We can hear you, but
All
now
right.
you're.
So 10 is like the highest you can get, but even the teachers don't get 10s. But his average was 6.2 to 6.8. So we know that he did a good job. He's just waiting for the call. So to get his black belt tomorrow, he has to run up the mountain. He has to run up Racist Mountain, Stone Mountain.
Boo.
Yeah, Stone
Boo.
Yeah. So like all the teachers and the parents are at the top of the mountain, and the kids have to, like, run up Racist Mountain to get their black belt.
Somebody tell Granny what's going on.
She said racist.
There's a
Stone
mountain in Atlanta.
Stone
that
Mountain
has
in
Confederate
Atlanta.
soldiers like on it.
Engraved in the stone.
It took him like how long to carve it? It was done like what 73.
Yeah, it's where former Klan meetings were held on Easter Sunday.
Hence,
I don't go specifically for that reason, but it's the only 5K mountain in the city of Atlanta for the students. That's what they have to do to complete their black belt. They have to run the 5K. So
They can't find 5 kilometers anywhere else in Atlanta to
and
run.
what's heartbreaking is that most of the
Wait. I'm gonna speak now because you know.
She's like, hold on, let's get that. Racist
You
mountain.
tell me to get your black belt, you gotta run up Racist Mountain.
To get your black belt, from all the teachers of color. And for your teacher, who is a person of color, to hand you this belt on top of Racist Mountain.
It's not actually.
So, yeah. I'm gonna take the sky train thing though.
It's an accomplishment.
Right? It is. Like I'm too pretty to hike up that mountain. I'm not. I'm just
That's what I say about math.
I'm just too old. I'm just too old and out of shape is really what it comes down to.
That part. All right, I'm turning my lights down. Because
I'm a grown ass woman, and I'm going to pay $12 to take the damn SkyTrain. Like,
on Races Mountain.
Yeah, look. Yeah. I'm gonna take the SkyTrain too. Do they have like racist steps that you can take? Maybe is it a non-racist elevator?
Sure. I know on 4th of July they do racist fireworks with like "Proud to be an American" playing in the background.
I've been there for that.
We do racist fireworks in St. Louis too, though.
Do they have anything on Juneteenth? Maybe.
No. Oh, and Stone Mountain now officially does allow guns in the park. So
that's great.
You know, I wasn't gonna go because I couldn't carry.
Like Kelsey, next time you come to Atlanta, we should I really want to take you there.
Yeah,
the
I'm very
on the
excited
mountain
about that.
enough. We just bring our guns too. You know?
I love the idea of being outside.
Yeah. Racist Mountain.
God.
Yeah.
All
With
right.
nobody wearing masks. Like I guarantee you that the only people that will be wearing masks are this group of people that will be going there.
I mean,
they may not
be the only one with masks and without guns. Like we brought our masks, but we left our guns at home. Is that okay?
what if we told people okay, you don't have to wear the mask, but you can wear your hood, and then we'll know. Then we'll fucking know. And then, oops, I did bring my gun.
My bad.
Oops. I did it again.
Hey. Because we're broadcasting for legal reasons, that's a joke.
That's a joke. I don't actually own any sort of weapon, TBH.
No.
Oh, I know. Okay.
I'm sick.
And it's 8 and we're actually back. And I'm gonna we have potentially Addams Family Values next month.
Oh, I hope so.
You need to watch our Facebook page.
Can I be Debbie though?
I thought Deborah was gonna be Kelsey, especially because Kelsey got to play a Deborah for Ben and Josh's murder mystery.
I mean, I can be.
Well, no, I gotta be Amanda. That's right. I'm Amanda.
Yes.
That's right.
Amanda.
Duh.
Oh no.
You're the only one that's allowed to do that joke, so.
Yes, exactly.
Facts.
So, okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Ginger. We're going to get super serial for a minute, and then we're going to dive into Act 2.
All right, so why are we here today? We are here to support one of my very good friends. Her name is Melissa Stevens. We call her Mama Mel, and if you've ever met her, you know why, because she is literally everybody's mom. Like, super friendly, super... like the core of any friend group. She's like the best. And so it was quite a shock when we found out last spring that she has stage 4 cancer. She's got uterine and kidney, and I believe there's another as well that she's got right now. So she's fighting multiple cancers. It's actually super rare, less than 1%. Or less than 300 cases since the 1970s have been found of this particular cancer that she has. So it's a really hard battle. I think she was initially given 11% survival, but we are chugging along, and she is on her way up to the Mayo Clinic to get the best treatment. And she's going to keep on fighting and pull through, and we just love her. So all around St. Louis today, there's been tons of fundraisers for today. That's why we're here. And there are 3 main ways to donate. You can Cash App, which, I prefer, but you can Cash App her at Melissa Ann Hatfield with the $sign in the front. You got to remember that. You can Venmo. She is at Melissa-Hatfield-13. And then she also has a GoFundMe, and the address is right here. You can also find it on our flyer for the show. But yes, any little bit can help. She's got to move up to Minnesota from Indiana, so that's That's happening in a couple weeks, and it's starting to run out of funds. She lost her job for the with this whole thing. Her husband's going to retire early so that he can come up with her to Minnesota. So we want to do everything we can to make things as comfortable for her as possible as she keeps on fighting. So thank you all in advance. Please donate, and I will give it back to y'all.
Show it one more time, Jill. Show it one more time.
Yeah. Oh, the donations? Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it right up against, right up against the screen. There we go. Back it up. Hold it right there.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. It's a capital A in there, and
yeah.
Yeah. It's not case sensitive for Cash App, so you should be good to go.
Okay. Yeah, wait.
Right, let me know.
Is this it?
Oh, she has a little icon with yep, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. Y'all see that? That's what that's her.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that icon with her beautiful bald head.
With her beautiful bald head.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like your hair.
So, we ready?
I'm ready, you all.
Act 2, let's hit it.
Act 2, let's hit it.
All right. Cut to the interior of Fester's room later. Fester sits on the edge of his bed, brooding. Wednesday and Pugsley appear in the doorway.
Come on, Uncle Fester, come to the play.
I said I was busy.
Well, you said you'd help us with the Shakespeare and the pus.
I changed my mind.
Cut to the outside of the school that night. Duesenberg pulls up pulls up in front of the school building. Bystanders eye the strange, wondrous automobile. Lurch steps out of the car and opens the rear door with great ceremony. As the bystanders gape, the Addams family steps out of the car as if attending the Academy Awards. Cut to inside the school. The lobby is crowded with the families of students. As the Addamses enter, a young woman, Susan Firkins, approaches Morticia. Susan is Wednesday's teacher. She's wholesome, frazzled, and a little too eager.
Mrs. Addams?
Yes.
Could I see you for a moment? I'm Susan Firkins, Wendy's teacher.
Oh, of course. Mrs. Firkins, Wendy's told us so much about you. Have you ever heard from your husband?
Cut to the interior of Fester's room at the same time. At his desk now, Fester works with great concentration. He appears to be building a bomb. He looks at the clock and he hurries. In the school auditorium lobby, Susan Firkins is showing Morticia a bulletin board hanging on one side of the lobby.
Wednesday is an excellent student, but frankly, I'm concerned. This is our class bulletin board, and this month our theme is our heroes, people we love and admire. You see, Susan Ringo has chosen the president.
For some reason, she points to a magazine cover of President Bush hanging next to a child's ill-written essay.
Isn't that so sweet? And Harmony Feld has picked Diane Sawyer.
She points to a photo of Diane Sawyer hanging next to Harmony's essay.
Have you spoken to the parents?
But Wednesday brought in this picture of some bitch named Calpurnia Addams.
She points to a photo of an oil painting of an evil-looking crow.
Oh, Wednesday's great aunt Calpurnia. She was burned as a witch in 1706. Not as a witch just for being a woman. They say she danced naked in the town square, enslaved a minister, and made the best nut cake in all the land.
Really? Do you have that recipe?
I'll email it.
Okay. It is the 90s.
Oh, yes, but don't worry. We've told Wednesday. College first. Nutcake second.
I was in college whenever I enjoyed my first nutcake. Angle on Susan with her mouth hanging open. Wonder why. Interior of the school auditorium lobby. Tully and Margaret are chatting with the Addamses. The Alfred's son, Tully Jr., is wearing a felt elf costume.
Isn't he adorable? I made this myself.
It's charming. What is he? A lizard?
A nutcake elf.
She kneels and wipes Tully Jr.'s face with a Kleenex. Again, wonder why.
Look at you. That's better. You are just too precious for words. Why I could just eat you alive.
No, Margaret. Too young. Tough.
Oh, Gomez, where's Fester this evening?
Moody as usual. We're all out on a jaunt and he's home alone in that big empty house.
What a shame.
Maniacal laugh.
Granny and Lurch appear, hawking another of Granny's delicacies.
Toad on a stick. Nut cake too. Get your red hot toad on the stick. Can't enjoy this show without your toad on the stick. These little nut cakes right here. Turn that TV off. Okay.
Inside Fester's room at the same time. At his desk now, Fester works with great concentration. He appears to be building a bomb. He looks at the clock and he hurries. Back in the school auditorium, Gomez attempts to schmooze Judge Womack.
I was hoping you'd come over and play a round of golf. Not to brag, but I've got a beautiful little 9-hole pitch and putt set up at my cemetery.
I just got this weave put in and I'd rather rot in hell.
A previous engagement.
He tucks one of his cigars in Judge Womack's breast pocket and heads off to join his family. Cut to the variety show stage. A half dozen adorable 7-year-olds are on stage singing We Are the World. They finish to the enthusiastic applause of the auditorium full of parents. Morticia and Gomez politely join in, while Lurch fidgets and Granny slumps, bored in her chair.
Next.
Lurch stops fidgeting and Granny sits up straight. Cut to backstage. Sitting at the makeup mirror, Wednesday and Pugsley are putting on their armor. Fester is suddenly behind them, reflected in the mirror.
I changed my mind.
He thrusts a package toward them. Cut to the exterior of the Addams house. Abigail is hammering on the door with the knocker.
Gordon, it's Mother. Damn it, where are you? I never should have used.
She clomps down the porch steps and heads around the side of the house, peering in windows. Inside the auditorium, pushing people aside, Fester forces his way to where his family is seated. They're happy to see him.
I knew you couldn't stay away, old man.
Cut to the outside of the Addams mansion. Standing on tiptoes, Abigail tries yet another window. At her ankles, vines snake out from a window well. They wrap firmly around her ankles. She gapes down at them and screams. There's no one to hear her, and no escape. The vines go taut, preparing to pull her under. At the variety show stage, Pugsley and Wednesday in their elaborate costumes are drawing to the climax of their scene from Hamlet. As they duel, they act their little Addams heart out.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be worth nutcake. If I must strike you dead, I will.
Pugsley lands the first blow, slashing Wednesday's arm. Her sleeve rends and blood spurts.
A hit! A very palpable hit!
They both press the attack, drawing blood. In a fatal blow, Pugsley slashes Wednesday's jugular. She makes horrible gurgling noises, blood spurts and arterial squirts.
Oh, proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal nut cake?
In a final vengeful moment, Wednesday hacks at Pugsley's left arm, cutting it off, sending a gusher of blood out of his stump. The arm drops to the stage and bounces off, landing in Judge Womack's lap. On stage, Wednesday clutches her bleeding throat.
Sweet nut cake, open your arms.
Wednesday falls dead. The audience sits perfectly still, jaws agape, deep in shock, an oil painting. Then the Addams family leaps as one to their feet, applauding wildly.
Bravo!
The lights on stage come up as Pugsley and Wednesday bow deeply, accepting their family's applause. Fester applauds louder than anybody. Cut to the interior of Wednesday's bedroom later that night. Fester is tucking Wednesday into bed. They are now devoted friends.
There were sailors and pirates and nutcake, and an airplane full of tourists from Miami Beach, all lost in the triangle.
Oh, Fester. Someday will you take me there?
It's a promise. Good night, Wednesday. You were terrific.
He kisses her on her forehead. She holds out her headless doll. Fester kisses the doll's empty neck. Wednesday holds out the doll's severed head. Fester kisses it. Cut to the cemetery. Morticia is standing in the nutcake. Gomez sits on a bench nearby.
What a sublime evening, a theatrical triumph.
Shakespearean delight. All hail Fester.
It's like a dream. When we first met years ago, it was an evening much like this. Nutcake in the air, a boy.
A girl.
An open grave. It was my first funeral.
You were so beautiful, pale and mysterious. No one even looked at the corpse.
Your cousin, Balthazar. You were still a suspect. I couldn't stop staring. All during the eulogy, your eyes, your mustache, your nutcake.
You bewitched me. I proposed that very night.
Just think, someday we'll be buried here, side by side, 6 feet under, in matching coffins, our lifeless bodies rotting together for all eternity.
Cara mia.
Mon sauvage.
They embrace in the moonlight. As they do, the camera pans above their heads. We see the headstone featuring Uncle Fester. Cutting to the conservatory that next morning, Lurch is sweeping up. Among the plants, he comes upon Abigail, tightly wrapped in a plant cocoon. Lurch growls. In the kitchen, the cheerful Addams breakfast is underway. Fester is at the table with the family.
You like the blood?
Perfect. A full bucket. I was so proud.
Weren't we all? Wednesday, play with your nutcake.
Wednesday has something moving in her cereal bowl, so that's a new definition of nutcake, I guess. She teases it with her fork. Granny screams at the sideboard.
Mama.
Granny pulls a skeleton of a shin and foot out of one of the serving dishes.
Who put this in here?
Pugsley and Fester exchange a conspiratorial glance and giggle.
This is for company.
Rascals.
Abigail enters, peeling off bits of the nutcake that has encased her.
Doctor, you were so right. What an evening.
Fester fit right in.
The displacement is over.
Well, isn't that nice?
You really have to go?
Yeah, he does.
Well, if he insists upon leaving, we shall mark the occasion. Tish?
We planned a farewell party.
We've invited the whole clan.
Amazed by the gesture, Fester looks over at Gomez and Morticia.
What a lovely gesture.
Bloodshed, anguish, breakfast, nutcake, we're a family again. And we owe it all to you, Dr. Pinderschloss.
Please, Greta.
Greta.
Fester, work me out.
Cut to the exterior front walk. Fester is escorting Abigail through the yard.
I'm fine, Mother. I'm completely in control.
They're not your family, Gordon. I am. They don't love you. I do. They're all evil and corrupt and full of nutcake. I can give you that.
I'm fine. Really.
We'll see.
They reach gate.
Open up.
Even gate is intimidated and swings open. Cut to inside Morticia's conservatory. Fester is cutting the blooms off Morticia's roses.
We're opening the ballroom now.
Fester hesitates, then follows Morticia. In the hallway outside the ballroom, a short time later, each carrying a lighted candelabra, Morticia, Gomez, Fester, Granny, Lurch, Pugsley, and Wednesday stand in front of the tall, elaborately carved oaken double doors. Gomez unlatches them. Together they push them open and step into the ballroom. Moonlight streams in through the floor-to-ceiling windows, revealing the true enormity of the nutcake. It's straight out of a Rococo palace. A lofty, unsupported dome ceiling is decorated with figures worthy of Dante. The black marble floor glistens. The furniture and banquet tables are funerally shrouded. Like some primeval sea, the shrouds undulate in the breeze admitted through the open doors. Gomez steps up to Morticia and embraces her. They begin to dance. Fester remains frozen in the center of the ballroom, overwhelmed by the grandeur.
A party? With nutcake? For me? Here?
As Gomez and Morticia waltz past.
All for you.
Hish, how long has it been since we've waltzed?
Oh, Gomez. Hours.
He dips Morticia. As she bends back, she reaches for one of the shrouds and whips it off. It fills the screen. Cut to inside the ballroom. When the shroud comes down, the party is in full swing. Gomez and Morticia, resplendent now in their party clothes, Morticia in a formal version of her black sheath, and Gomez in black velvet lounging pajamas, smoking jacket and fez. A small orchestra plays a fractured waltz. Thing is a third hand on the bass. Gomez and Morticia dance among the Addams family relatives. That portrait gallery of grotesques come to life. Among them are Dexter and Donald Addams, the two-headed cousin in matching turtlenecks. Cousin Ophelia Addams, who looks like a Tennessee Williams heroine who's just been fished out of a nutcake. Slash Addams, if a man could look like a toad and still be a man, this is he. He's made many a killing on Wall Street. With him is his child-sized wife, Lois. Digit Addams, all four arms embrace his date, an overage Heidi with thick blonde braids. Cousin Lumpy Addams, a teenage hunchback in a loud blazer. Dexter and Donald dance Ophelia over to Gomez and Morticia.
I wonder
What
happened
happened
to Fester.
to Fester?
A little primping, I suppose.
Her mind waterlogged and bleary, Ophelia addresses Morticia with a spacey Thorazine smile.
Where is Fester?
Soon, Ophelia, soon.
Where am I? And where's the nutcake?
Cut to the interior of Fester's room. Fester is in his robe or his underwear. He is considering various pieces of clothing, on hangers or placed on the bed. Abigail stands nearby, her arms folded.
What would look best? A tuxedo?
A nice dark suit is perfectly acceptable.
But the whole family is coming. I want to look terrific.
Gordon, may I remind you, you're not really an Addams.
I know. But the party's for me.
He holds up an outfit in front of the mirror.
I love this.
Cut to the exterior of the Addams mansion. The front door opens and Lurch appears. He's obviously been summoned. He looks out. His face lights up as he sees a new arrival. Angle on Cousin It, driving up in his bubble-topped It-mobile. He parks the car and flips open the top. Cousin It is a hairball in a Homburg who gleeps and squeaks in a language the Addams have no trouble understanding. He pauses for a moment to survey the house. Inside the ballroom, we see Lurch escorting Cousin It into the ballroom. Gomez and Morticia come over to greet him.
It, old man.
did you? Right, far too long.
Cousin It looks around, obviously checking out the women. He sees Margaret on the dance floor with Tully. It runs a hand through his hair, slicking it back, and then excuses himself. Margaret clings stiffly to Tully in the midst of all this Addams weirdness.
I just set up Google.
Hey, close enough. The first time we've been dancing in ages and you take me here.
It's a formal occasion.
Don't let me out of your sight.
Don't threaten me.
There's a tap on Margaret's shoulder. She turns. Before her is Cousin It, hat in hand, eager to cut in. He takes her in his arms and spins away with her.
You shot who in the what now?
Cut to inside Fester's bedroom. The pipes groan loudly as scalding water floods the sink. Abigail shaves the back of Fester's head with a straight razor. The room is filled with steam.
You'll make your appearance, then slip away from the party.
How? I'm the guest of honor.
Cut to inside the ballroom. Wednesday is dancing with Lumpy Addams, the teenage hunchback. Morticia approaches them.
Wednesday,
Yes, Mom?
could you run upstairs and check on your uncle?
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's silent now. Should I just go?
Oh, hello.
Oh, there she is.
Here I am. Where did you lose me?
Checking on your uncle.
Check in on your uncle. Thank you, dear. Why, Lumpy Addams, look at you, all grown up with your nutcake.
Cut to the interior of Fester's room. The door opens and Wednesday peeks inside.
Well, Fester, are you hiding nutcake in here?
She hears the water running in Fester's bedroom, the sound of voices beneath it. Inside the bathroom, Fester turns off the nutcake. The pipes make a final clang, and then there's silence.
Yes, Mother. I understand. I hear you.
I hope so, Gordon. I'm counting on you. Don't buckle under the nutcake.
It's not going to be easy. There are people everywhere.
You could do it if you just stop whining. No one likes that. It's unattractive.
All right, fine. I will try to reach the vault tonight. But if I can't, well, then that's it. Okay, Mother?
Wednesday stands frozen in the doorway.
Are a fake. I knew it.
Abigail and Fester wheel around on her. The straight razor catches the light and glints menacingly.
Come here, little Van. We want to hurt you.
Fester can't believe this is happening. He is genuinely torn, and it shows.
Wednesday!
Abigail's facade disintegrates, and she bellows.
Get her!
Abigail pushes him toward Wednesday, who, suddenly scared, takes off running. She runs through Fester's room and across the hall into her own room. She slams her bedroom door behind her. Galvanized into action by the hold his mother still has on him, Fester kicks the door open just in time to see. Inside Wednesday's room, she throws open a trap door in the floor and disappears down it, pulling the door down closed behind her. Fester tries to find it, but the door is seamless. He pounds the floor in frustration. Outside the house, next to the coal chute where Abigail was grabbed by the vines, are two smaller chutes, one marked Pugsley and one marked Wednesday. Wednesday slides out of her chute and takes off toward the cemetery. Wednesday runs through the graveyard and into the darkness of the night. And the same time in the ballroom, Lurch escorts Flora and Fauna Amor, the twins from the home movies, into the ballroom. He takes their wraps, revealing that they are, in fact, a pair of conjoined twins. 25 years later, they still look quite beautiful and quite mad.
Flora and Fauna Amor.
Gomez approaches, shielding his eyes.
I cannot see. I'm blinded by beauty.
Well, I'm sure if my sister weren't a little baby, she would say,
What?
Because Granny's Flora, but
The baby just picked up the phone and now it's dead. Now it's gone.
oh god.
We just saw baby and diaper and then nothing.
At first I was gonna say, wow, Flora, you're so young.
This is
But
what we
I
get
guess
for-
I'll be both of them. It'll be fine. Gomez Addams, you terrible flirt. Always was. At least with me. Copycat. Tag along.
Morticia appears.
Why, Gomez? The Amor twins. I've heard so much about you.
Morticia. I
What
hate
hate you?
Oh, there we go. Okay. You nabbed him. This darling man.
He was mine.
He was mine.
Flora, fauna, how can I compete with you? 'Cause I make the best nut cake in all the land.
Hello, Tully.
Gomez grabs Tully, who is striding by in search of Margaret.
Tully, the Amor twins. They're waiting for Fester. Amuse them.
Hello, Tully.
I saw him first.
Ignore her.
She's nothing. Oh, Mute Tisha there said bon chance.
The girls now have their forearms all over Tully, leading him onto the dance floor.
Oh my god.
Cut to inside Fester's bedroom. Abigail is in the room alone. At that moment, Fester comes climbing back through the open window.
I couldn't find her anywhere. Let's just leave out the back. But grab some
yes.
nut cake first.
Fuck the nut cake. Pull yourself together. She'll turn up, the little cockroach. Now get to the party or they'll suspect something. I'll be down soon. Yeah?
Cut to the inside of the kitchen. Morticia watches as Granny garnishes a roast pig set on a silver tray. It is beautifully glazed, deliciously plump, and has an apple in its mouth.
Mama, you've outdone yourself.
Granny turns the roast pig slightly to arrange the garnish and reveals its second head. This one, too, has an apple in its mouth.
Hey, it's a party.
Satisfied, she covers it with a lid. Lurch then lifts the tray onto a serving cart and rolls the cart out. Inside the ballroom, Flora and Fauna, now on the dance floor with Tully, chatter giddily as he tries to maneuver them through a box.
You can't imagine how surprised we were when Gomez called and told us Fester was back.
Especially considering
Fauna.
Especially considering what?
It makes no difference now. It's obvious that Fester and Gomez are devoted.
Why wouldn't they be devoted?
Well, now that Fester's back, he's king of the castle again, isn't he?
Fester's the older brother, so he gets it all. The house, the money, you name it. No, go ahead.
I'd like to.
Gomez be damned.
Fester's still single, isn't he?
Are you Mr. Alford?
Why, Fauna.
I'm Fauna.
I'm Flora.
And I'm Javette. I'm flattered. Excuse me, ladies.
Tully winks at Flora and blows a kiss to Fauna. They giggle madly. Tully hurries off, grinning like a cat who swallowed the canary. Inside the ballroom, Morticia and Fester have appeared at the door.
Everyone, your attention, please.
The music stops and the guests fall silent.
When he was lost, our family grieved, and how it became them. Now he is found. Our celebration begins. Our treasured guest of honor, Fester Addams!
She takes him by the hand as if to lead him toward the nut cake, but instead abruptly spins him by the arm, sending him whirling like a top into the center of the dance floor, where he suddenly stops, nose to nose with Gomez. Gomez has changed clothes. He dressed now like a Hollywood Cossack. He carries 5 gleaming scimitars. Morticia, Granny, and all the Addams women rap out a stirring martial beat on tambourines.
The mamushka.
Gomez begins to circle around Fester. The other family members form a ring, circling counterclockwise to Gomez. Gomez then throws the scimitars straight up, high into the air, and begins juggling them. Baffled, Fester stands in the center, the eye of this dizzying hurricane.
Taught to us by our Cossack cousins, the mamushka has been an Addams family tradition since God knows when.
Gomez hurls the scimitars to Fester. They begin juggling them back and forth, much to Fester's shock and surprise.
We danced the mamushka while Nero fiddled. We danced the mamushka at Waterloo. We danced the mamushka for Jack the Ripper, and now, Fester Addams, this mamushka's for you.
The juggling continues. The moves get more and more intricate. It's an elaborate, carefully choreographed routine. Fester, petrified, manages to somehow bungle his way through. They launch into a tongue-twisting patter song. Fester again stumbles his way through. During an instrumental passage of the song, Gomez admires his brother.
After all this time, Fester hasn't forgotten a step, hasn't forgotten a word, hasn't forgotten a nutcake.
Fester stops dead.
Not a step, not a word, not a nutcake.
Fester has missed a beat and looks up to see all 5 scimitars dropping fast, coming straight at him. Panicking, he catches 1, 2, 3, 4. With 2 in each hand, his hands are full. What's he going to do with it? With the 5th. He opens his mouth to scream. It drops straight in. He swallows it to the hilt. The Addams mob cheers lustily and launches into the finale of the song. Amazed, Fester drops the scimitars he holds and pulls the one from his mouth. Oh yeah, that's you.
How
Fester,
did I
you're
do
there.
that?
Gomez slaps him on the back. Fester burps. The Addams cheer again. They close in on Fester. In a remote corner of the ballroom, Cousin It and Margaret are waltzing in an out-of-the-way nook. They are somewhat involved.
We've been married for almost 20 years. Sometimes it seems like more. Of course, people grow. Nutcakes change.
Nutcake.
To the front hall a little later. Tully is heading for the front door in his coat. Abigail stops him.
Where are you going? There's trouble. Right here in River City.
not to worry. Plan B.
But that hideous little girl.
I'm in charge. I'm the captain now. 10 minutes, I'll be back.
Tully slips out the door. Abigail turns, frustrated, throwing up her hands. Upstairs on the dance floor, a reprise of the mamushka has begun. In the rear of the hall, Cousin It passes across, leading a trembling Margaret. Cut to the exterior of Judge Womack's home. Judge Womack is on the front porch with Tully. He's apoplectic. What the fuck? The ruckus sounds of the mamushka reverberate from the Addams mansion.
What the hell's going on over there?
How would you like to be rid of the Addamses for good?
Why do you sound like God? And what can I do for you?
Cut to the outside of the Addams mansion at 2 a.m. Gomez and Morticia stand on the front steps, waving goodbye to their departing guests. Cousin It leans out the window of his limousine, sharing a romantic last moment with Margaret.
When in the movie, it's like a little VW Beetle. You're a marvelous dancer. It's been such fun. I can't. We mustn't. Call me.
The limo drives off as Margaret waves a fond farewell. The limo passes. Morticia appears. She puts her arm around Margaret as it drives off.
Oh, Margaret, he's very special, isn't he?
Perfect.
He's nutcake.
We broke Danny.
No, I didn't hear Mutisha's lines.
He's nutcake.
Laura and Tana giving goodbye kisses to Fester, covering him with lipstick. They hang on him with all 4 arms. He is enjoying himself.
You'll come see me before you leave, won't you, Fester?
I'll call once I'm alone.
An ambulance pulls up. White jacket attendants step out with a straitjacket built for 2.
There's your ride. Goodbye, girls.
Cut to the interior upstairs hallway. Fester skips down the hall, still practicing bits of the mamushka, the Amor twins' kisses still fresh on his cheeks. He opens the door and strides into his bedroom. Fester dances into the room. He grabs Abigail and starts dancing with her, swinging her around and singing bits of the patter song.
Gordon.
Fester keeps singing and dancing.
Gordon, stop it! This instant!
Fester lets her go.
Gordon, is that lipstick all over your face?
From the twins! From the beautacious Amor twins!
The twins, Gordon? I don't understand this. Let me get this clear. Have you been having a good time?
Yes, I have. I've been having a marvelous time. I sang up a storm and I danced till I dropped the mamushka.
He begins to dance again. Abigail, breathing fire, sits on the bed, turning away from him.
Mother?
Mother, who is that? I don't know who that is. I don't know her.
Mother?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm dandy. Don't concern yourself with me, Gordon. Please return to your depraved orgy. Sometimes I think you're not even my son.
Don't say that.
I'm just your mother. You only owe me your entire existence on this planet. Please, Gordon, by all means, go, sing, dance, date.
I lost my spot.
Come to your senses, boy.
Mother! I'm so terribly sorry. It was just a party. It's over. Those Siamese twins, that hunchback, cousin it, they're not you.
Say it, Gordon. Make me believe it.
I love you, and I want money.
Ew.
We've got to find Tully.
Cut to the interior of the ballroom. Morticia is looking for her children. She discovers Pugsley asleep, curled up on the silver platter where the 2-headed pig lay. She finds this enchanting. Gomez enters. Morticia shushes him. She points to the platter.
Look, our little boy.
All tuckered out.
So sweet. He looks just like an entree. Not a nut cake. Y'all thought I was going to say it.
Pugsley wakes up. He looks around.
We have lines. Children is the line for nut cake.
Where's the party?
It's over, darling. Have you seen your sister?
Oh, not since before the mamushka.
Gomez.
Don't fret, we'll find her.
Cut to outside the Addams yard. Gomez rallies the family for the search. Morticia wears a black cloak. Granny has grabbed her divining rod. Lurch distributes torches, then stands aside, awaiting instructions. Pugsley helps Gomez unroll an ancient map of the area.
Fan out. Pugsley, head for the dung heap. Mama and Morticia, the shallow graves. I'll take the abyss, and Lurch, check the bottomless pit.
Her favorite.
Fester!
Up here.
They look up at Fester, looking down at them from Wednesday's window.
Fester, you take the ravine and the unmarked abandoned well.
Somebody should stay behind in case she comes back.
Good man, good thinking.
Then who'll take the swamp?
Thing tugs at the cuff of Gomez's pants. Gomez nods.
That's the spirit. Thing, lend a hand. Let's go.
They all sweep off, with Gomez in the lead. A short while later in Wednesday's room, Fester is still at the window. Abigail joins him. Spread far and wide over the grounds, the various members of the family search for Wednesday, tiny lights aloft, calling.
Where the hell is Tully?
They head out. Inside the den, Fester and Abigail find Tully sitting in an armchair, basking in the rays of sunshine that beam from a copy of The Sun Also Rises. Tully smiles at them.
What are you doing?
Relaxing, taking a little sun.
Have you gone mad?
Au contraire.
Tully closes the book and smugly unfurls a legal document. Outside the swamp, Thing hops lily pads, stopping occasionally to quest the air for his mistress. Cut to the exterior of a primeval forest adjacent to the cemetery. Torch aloft, Pugsley searches through the primeval forest. In the neighborhood, Lurch picks up a car looking for Wednesday. In an underground grotto, Morticia and Granny stand in the middle of the dripping dankness. Stalagmites, stalactites, nutcakes. Granny's torch casts scary shadows on the cave walls.
Granny.
Wednesday!
Oh, Mama, I was sure we would find her here.
Outside the cemetery, Gomez reaches a stately mausoleum. Two proud marble vultures guard the entryway. Gomez lowers the uplifted claw of one of the vultures, and the stone doors slide open. He steps into the mausoleum. Inside it is catacomb-like, filled with the bleached bones of the Addams dead. Gomez's torch casts shadows, one of which belongs to Wednesday, curled asleep on a stone sarcophagus. Relieved to find her, Gomez approaches quietly. He doesn't want to wake her up. He lifts her tenderly in his arms. Outside the gate, just before dawn, gate can't open. He rattles miserably on his hinges, locked tight with heavy chains and yellow police tape. Large no trespassing, court order, Addams family, keep out signs are posted on gate's rusty bars. We pull back to reveal the family, appalled at the sight of gate. Lurch carries the sleeping Wednesday and Pugsley.
What's all this?
Tully hurries down the hallway, waving his nutcake.
Oh no, is he frozen? He looks so concerned. They look so
I know. I think
He's like, waving my nutcake. What?
I think they're both frozen. Yeah.
they are.
Oh no!
Them both.
No.
We have to wait. This is the perfect opportunity for surprise.
I know.
MF.
Especially coming back from being frozen. Tully, come back.
Also, every time that someone has frozen tonight, it's been so perfect. Like literally, it's like
This is a great time to remind people to donate at the Cash App.
Ginger.
Oh yes.
GoFundMe's or something.
Yes.
Give the dollars.
Cash
All
App
the dollars.
Melissa Ann Hatfield. Venmo at Melissa-Hatfield-13.
Saving lives.
Yes. Get that GoFundMe if you must. I would personally like to go, oh no, internet is throwing a fit. Oh no.
Oh no.
How are we doing this?
Fuck that internet.
No, the
Everything looks
Wi-Fi
reasonable
died.
on our end.
Ah, shit. Shnikes, this is the first time this has ever happened.
Right?
I guess I could take over for Tully for now, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
We can plop him back in. I don't think Pugsley has a whole lot of lines until the Girl
Pugsley has a
Scout
little
thing.
bit here and there. Yeah, just during the Girl
if need be, I'll take that.
Yeah, you could probably do that because I don't think you have anything coming
I
up.
have
for a
nothing
while.
until the Halloween party.
Right.
'Cause
Okay,
she's real quiet.
so I will be makeshift Tully for now.
Okay.
Surprise, motherfucker! This is a restraining order, Gomez.
A restraining order?
It requires you to keep a distance of 1,000 yards from this house. You've got about 999 yards to go. Catch my drift?
I am restrained from my own house?
Not your house, mustache. Not anymore. It belongs to the eldest living descendant, the older of the brothers, Fester Addams.
But This is lunacy.
What in the absolute hell? Fester adores Gomez. Right, Fester? Say it, bitch.
Oh, yeah,
He's
totally.
afraid of him. Seeing the twins brought it all back. Your bitter rivals, Gomez. Always were, always will be.
It's not so. Those girls meant nothing. He knows that. I demand to see Fester.
Sorry, a no can do. He's very hurt. It's not a good time. Leave it alone, or better yet, just leave.
Wednesday comes forward, rubbing the sleep from her eyes.
But he isn't even Uncle Fester.
Gomez and Morticia turn to look at her.
Do not fear. Justice shall prevail. The courts will decide. They say a man who represents himself has a fool for a client. Well, with God as my witness, I am the fool.
About that.
Cut to the interior of a courtroom and a close-up of the gavel. Hammers on the judge's bench. We pull back to reveal Judge Womack is the presiding judge. He hammers the bench again, then reads his decision.
Given applicable standards of proof, the attempts to impugn this man's character or question his identity have been woefully inadequate. It is with no small amount of personal satisfaction that I declare Fester Addams legal executor of the Addams estate and rightful owner of all properties and possessions contained therein. Gomez Addams, with one exception, I believe was supposed to be in there. Gomez Addams, I believe these are yours. Golf ball, golf ball, golf ball, golf ball.
Exterior of the Addams mansion. The family members troop to the car with their few possessions. Gomez already sits in the passenger seat of the big-ass car, his coat draped over his shoulders as if he were an invalid, his head thrown back. Morticia carries out Cleo, her carnivorous plant. Granny carries her favorite cauldron. Wednesday, one of her Marie Antoinette dolls. Pugsley, his chemistry set. Lurch uproots his favorite tree and joins the procession. Thing follows, dragging a toy wagon packed with his rings, his glove. Cut to the exterior of the Addams overgrown driveway. Their car eases out of the driveway and onto the street, weighed down by Lurch's tree sticking out of the trunk. Fester, standing at a second-story window, watches the car drive up. Cut to the exit of the court. A two-story neon arrow points the way to this bungalow court. Bright and awful ersatz western. Log cabins of simulated wood surround the teepee-shaped office. Yikes. The Addams car is parked in front of the furthest cabin. The asphalt has been ripped up in big chunks, and Lurch's tree is parked next to the Addams' new home. Inside the bungalow, we see a dressing table mirror. Morticia leans into frame. With an ice pick and a hammer, she deftly makes a large spidery crack in the round mirror. Sighing deeply, she stands back to admire her handiwork. Granny joins her.
I like it.
Her mother pats her consolingly.
Just as long as we're together, blah, 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 blah.
As she turns to Gomez, we see the interior of the bungalow. All cowboy and Indian mixed with chrome-plated plastic and orange shag carpet.
White people.
Again, yikes. Gomez sits slumped in a chair made from wagon wheel and some other white people, some other thing. And it's as if all of his insane, vibrant energy has been leached from him. He's a broken man. He looks back at her as if he's never heard French.
Huh?
Wednesday tends to him. She and her mother exchange a worried look. Pugsley comes from the bathroom, nibbling a wrapped bar of motel soap.
This place isn't so bad. They even put candy in the bathroom.
That soap, dear.
Oh.
He takes another greedy bite. Wednesday pats her father's arm.
Want a cigar, Father?
They're very bad for you.
Father?
Wednesday exchanges a panic-stricken look with Morticia. The family moves closer to Gomez.
But maybe I'll have one of those.
He takes a bar of soap from Pugsley. Gomez unwraps it and morosely eats it. Inside the Addams mansion, midway to the vault, We see a close-up on 3 hands as they reach up to pull 3 of the countless chains. At the coal chute on the side of the house, it drops open, dumping out Fester, Abigail, and Tully, all of them wet, bedraggled, and gasping for air.
You're doing this on purpose.
They all struggle to their feet and march grimly toward the door. Cut to the bungalow that morning. Gomez is stretched out on the naked box springs of his bed, the mattress pushed aside. A damp cloth covers his eyes. Thing massages his aching head. A bowl of motel soaps is beside him. In contrast, Morticia squarely faces the crisis. She addresses the family from the head of the breakfast table, the want ads open on the table before her.
We are the Addamses. Woo, hair, girl. We will not submit. Who recalls the fable of the tortoise and the hare? The swift yet lazy little cottontail and his slow but determined companion. What does that story teach us? Addamses.
Kill the hare. Skin it. Boil it.
Tortoise on the highway. Put tortoise on the highway.
During rush hour. God damn it, it muted me.
Yes, we will survive. Poison us, strangle us, break our bones, feed us your nut cake. We will come back for more. And why?
Because we like it.
We're Addamses.
Yes.
Gomez tries to, I almost read that really, really wrong. Gomez tries to rouse himself.
We're Addamses.
He burps, soap bubbles floating from his mouth. Cut to the exterior sidewalk in front of the court. Wednesday and Pugsley have set up a lemonade stand, their contribution to the Addams' financial well-being. An array of poisons are lined up on their rickety table. They've slashed their prices to a nickel per cup. The pitcher on the table before them steams. Cars speed by. Carrying a sample vacuum cleaner and a bucket, Lurch comes out of the motel courtyard. Pugsley offers him a cup of punch.
Here, Lurch, on the house.
Lurch downs it in a gulp and heads off. Feeling the effects of the lemonade, Lurch burps. A tongue of flame shoots from his mouth and incinerates a racist statue advertising the court. Inside an employment agency, Morticia is being interviewed by a personnel officer, a relentlessly perky gal with a clipboard.
We have so many homemakers re-entering the workforce. Your domestic skills can be very valuable. College?
Private tutors.
Major?
Spells and hexes.
Liberal arts. Have you ever been a volunteer, PTA, service organizations?
Well, one day each week, I visit death row at our local prison with my children.
With your children?
Autographs.
What about your husband? Is he currently employed?
He's currently going through a bad patch of nut cake at the moment, but it's not his fault.
Of course it's not. What is he? A loafer? A hopeless layabout? A shiftless dreamer?
Not anymore.
The personnel officer shoots Morticia a doubtful glance and begins rifling through her card file. Cut to the interior of the Addams living room. Abigail and Fester are seated at opposite ends of the couch. Fester stares off into space. Abigail is going through a stack of colorful travel brochures.
Mediterranean, the Riviera. Once we find the money, we'll go everywhere. We'll try again right after lunch, Gordon. Where should we go first?
I don't know.
Acapulco, Cancun. I can't snipe very well. Arriba.
You choose.
Cut to the exterior of the motel later that day. Wednesday and Pugsley are at their lemonade stand. They're negotiating with a prissy little girl in a Girl Scout uniform. The Girl Scout carries several boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Is this made from real lemons?
Yes.
I only like all natural foods and beverages, organically grown with no preservatives. Are you sure they're real lemons?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll buy a cup if you buy one of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Do we have a deal?
Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Just a little
Cut
nut
to
cake.
the exterior of a suburban house. White clapboard, geraniums in the flower boxes, surrounded by a white picket fence. Carrying his sample vacuum cleaner and bucket, the tools of his new trade, Lurch carefully opens the little white gate. He rings the doorbell, afraid he might break something. A blonde housewife in tennis shoes, obviously in a hurry, opens the door, only to be greeted by a bucket full of slop thrown past her onto her peach oriental rug. She screams in horror, turns to challenge the perpetrator of this atrocity, and seeing Lurch, screams again. In a panic, she tries to slam the door on Lurch, but like a salesman manual undoubtedly advised, he sticks his foot in the way. The door partially rips off his hinges. Lurch steps inside and shuts the door as best he can. A moment passes. The door swings open and Lurch exits, jauntily waving a nutcake. Cut to the interior of a daycare center. Morticia is telling a story to a group of toddlers who have gathered in a circle around her, sitting on carpet squares. The room is sunny and cheerful, with crayon drawings taped to the walls.
And so the witch lured Hansel and Gretel into the candy house by promising them more nut cake, and she told them to look in the oven, and she was about to push them in when, lo and behold, Hansel pushed the poor defenseless witch into the oven, where she was burned alive, writhing in agony. Now, boys and girls, what do you think that feels like?
After a beat, all the toddlers begin to cry and wail. Cut to the exterior of the motel. Granny holds a club behind her back as she stalks something.
Here, kitty.
They did hit me in the head with the toy that
Cut to the exterior at the same time. Eating compulsively from a box of Malamars, Gomez is still stretched out on the naked box springs. He stares vacantly at a game show on TV. Jeopardy is on.
Monsters of History for 200. He was known as the Butcher of Bavaria.
Mute.
No! Go mute!
Gomez.
Go mute, Addams.
Grandfather
mute.
Addams! Damn, not in the form of a question.
Outside the bungalow, Granny, running now, club raised, hurries past the open window. She stops at the sight of Gomez inside, standing on the bed, staring at the television. Close up on the TV set, Gomez is now watching Geraldo Rivera hosting his tabloid-style show.
Voodoo zombies, the stuff of legend or a living nightmare? Do zombies really exist? How are they made? Where can we find them? Do they know this? Let's find out. Go on with your comments.
A call-in number is flashed on the screen. Gomez reaches for the phone. Inside the Addams Mansion dining room, Abigail and Gordon are seated at opposite ends of the table having lunch. It is very quiet.
After lunch, we'll try again.
Yes, Mother.
We'll find the money, and meanwhile, we have this little nest. Quiet, cozy, without that dreadful family.
Yes, Mother.
Just the two of us, away from the world, our dream come true.
Yes, Mother.
As Fester repeats "Yes, Mother" in his drone, Abigail mimics him silently. Cut to the interior of the motel an hour later. Close up on the TV screen. Geraldo is talking to a woman in the studio audience.
So, your son was brainwashed by voodoo Satanists and worked for Coronas. Yay! Let's take a call.
Geraldo.
Mr. Addams, please stop calling. We don't know where they meet.
Pull back to the motel room. Gomez lets the phone drop. Morticia, seated on the edge of the box spring, tries to comfort him. Pugsley, Wednesday, and Lurch are seated nearby, very worried about Gomez, as at a death watch. Gomez is now surrounded by junk food and a mountain of junk food wrappers, bags, and styrofoam containers. Ritually, as handmaidens, Morticia brings Gomez the remote control for the TV and Wednesday brings a copy of the TV guide. Pugsley brings Gomez a bag of Doritos, and Lurch brings him a can of Pringles. Gomez uses the remote to switch channels. Since he's clearly not acting in very good taste at all, he's watching an episode of The Cosby Show.
Rerun. This show sucks.
He luckily switches off the set and stares at the blank screen.
Understand, all he does is watch TV and eat.
I know. Gomez, let's go for a drive. The whole family.
A drive and Miss Matlock.
Granny opens the door and sticks her head in.
Dinner's gonna be late.
She slams the door. We hear her whistling.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
Inside their motel room, Morticia is putting Wednesday to bed.
If that man isn't Uncle Fester, then who is he, Mother?
I don't know, darling. I wish I did.
Why is that lady doing all of this?
It's hard to say. Sometimes people have had terrible childhoods, and sometimes they haven't found their special place in life. And sometimes they're dogs from hell and must be destroyed!
Morticia kisses Wednesday, and she closes her eyes to go to sleep. In the middle of the night, everyone is asleep but Morticia. She sits up in bed beside Gomez. She looks around at her family. Wednesday sleeps in the same bed as Granny. Lurch is flat out on the floor. Pugsley uses him for a mattress, and Thing uses Pugsley. Pugsley snores the inhale part of a snore. Lurch groans the exhale part, and Thing punctuates by wiggling. Morticia stares down at Gomez for a long beat. She strokes his hair lovingly. Full of resolve, she gets out of bed. Inside Fester's bedroom, he is lying in bed, the covers around his chin. Abigail sits on the bed beside him, tucking him in even though he's a grown-ass man.
I know why you've been so glum. It's because it's taking us a little longer than we'd hoped to find the gold. Isn't that right?
Fester turns away, depressed.
Of course it is. Well, don't you worry. We're right on the verge. Tomorrow for certain, my darling.
She kisses him on the forehead and stands. She goes to the door and turns.
You know, some people might think it's strange for a mother and son to be so close. It is strange.
It's fucked. Okay. Just gonna put it out there.
I think it's beautiful, don't you, Gord?
Fester mumbles something under his breath.
What?
Yes, Mother. It's beautiful.
Look, I'm weeping.
Abigail exits. The minute the door shuts, Fester gets out of bed. He is fully clothed. He goes to the window and begins to climb out. Cut to the exterior of the motel. Morticia, fully dressed, wearing her cloak, heads off down the walk. Unseen by her, Thing trails after. Outside the gate, Morticia, just outside gate, struggles to get it open, Thing clutching the bars, also attempting to block her way.
Stop it, you two.
Morticia breaks free of Thing. Outside the Addams mansion a little later, Tully opens the front door. He smiles maliciously at the sight of Morticia on the stoop.
I would like to speak to Fester.
Tully steps aside.
Big bad stacked in you.
Morticia crosses the threshold. Cut to the intersection at the foot of Addams Hill. Thing does his damnedest to flag down any of the few oncoming cars. He waves to no avail, dances around in frustration, then tries hitchhiking, sticking out his thumb. A passing car splashes him with mud. Screwing up his courage in a kamikaze leap, he grabs a hold of the bumper of the next car that comes along and hangs on for dear life as the car speeds down the street. Cut to inside the study. Morticia is now stretched out on the torture rack. Fester and Tully are securing her hands and feet under Abigail's supervision. Fester seems torn, agitated, upset.
You are a desperate woman, consumed by greed and infinite bitterness. We could have been such friends.
I don't think so. The vault, Mrs. Addams. Any thoughts?
Despite everything, I don't hate you. I pity you. Persecution, fiendish torture, inhumane depravity. Sometimes it's just not enough.
Gordon, let's get started.
But, Mother,
Stop stalling.
I'm not stalling. Stop badgering me.
Tully, take over. Tighten it.
I'd love to, that, but I've got this stomach thing that when I torture people, it's just me.
Do it.
Where's your bathroom?
Now!
Tully shuts his eyes and tightens the rack. Morticia's bones make a horrible popping, stretching sound. She moans rather sensually. That's
Again.
a flashback.
Again.
Tully tightens the rack again. More bone popping noises. Morticia moans again, even more orgasms.
I'm Jimmy Fallon. I feel it.
We going any tighter, Abigail?
Tighter!
Tully tightens the rack a third time. More bone popping noises. Morticia moans very voluptuously. She sighs and sighs in afterglow. She glances at Tully.
You've done this before.
This is like walking in on your parents.
Up to the exterior of the motel. A hand-possessed Thing races up the driveway, raising dust as he goes. Outside the motel room, Thing leaps dramatically onto the porch, then stops dead to knock on the cabin door. After a beat,
Who is it? More paid through Thursday.
he opens the door. Thing rushes in. Cut to inside. Thing skitters on the kitchen counter, frantically signing. In the background, the rest of the family sleeps.
Slow down, Thing. It's terrible when you stutter.
Frustrated, Thing grabs a spoon and begins tapping out Morse code.
Morticia in danger. Stop. Send help at once. Stop.
Thing flops down in exhausted triumph. Gomez grabs him and heads off. I almost said hands off. Inside Gomez's study a few minutes later, Morticia is now lashed to an enormous torture wheel. Tully and Abigail are tending the stick branding irons stuck in the roaring fire.
No, you can't. Not with red-hot pokers.
Is this gonna smell?
Tully Alford, Charlton, deadbeat, parasite. How Gomez adored you.
Well, not enough.
Morticia, please.
Dear Fester, or whomever you are, which is the real you? The loathsome, underhanded monster you've become? Or the loathsome, underhanded monster we came to love?
Don't ask me.
Fester, I saw you tonight at my window. I know it was you.
Gordon!
I was restless. I couldn't sleep.
Gordon, I have a thought. Just a notion. Top of my head. Tell me what you think, since you and Miss Addams are so very close.
Abigail takes a red-hot poker out of the fire and hands it to Fester.
Be my guest.
Cut to the interior of the big-ass car at night. Gomez cuts the engine. The car glides silently through Gate, who opens uncharacteristically without a creak. Gomez stops the car and skulks out. Thing skulks after him. Gomez sees the reflections of the roaring fire through the study window. Inside the study, as Fester takes the poker and approaches Morticia, Gomez crashes through the window in a backflip. Thing judo flips in after Gomez.
Cara mia.
Mon cher.
Thing tosses Gomez a saber off the study wall. Tully also grabs a saber and approaches Gomez from behind.
Darling, take care.
Without even looking, Gomez parries Tully's blow from behind. Then he whirls on Tully.
Dirty pool, old man. Never again.
This is for keeps, Gomez, not just doubloons.
Tully feigns, then slashes, shredding the front of Gomez's jacket.
One for you, Tully, and
Gomez attacks, his blade flashing like lightning. In a blur of action, Tully's sword is knocked from his hand and he's sent tumbling backwards, finally landing on his knees.
One for me.
Tully looks up at Gomez with cowardly, pleading eyes.
Gomez, it's Tully. I'm your lawyer. I'm on retainer. You can't hit me. I'm just a little birthday boy. It's my birthday.
Hi, I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little guy.
Let him up.
Gomez turns to see Abigail, who now has a pistol aimed at Morticia. One shot and she will die horribly. Gomez throws aside his sword. Tully scrambles to his feet.
That's right. Now get moving, Addams. Take him to the vault, and if you're not back in 1 hour, I displace her.
Gomez is near enough now to take Morticia's hand on the torture wheel.
Tish, seeing you like this, my blood boils.
That's mine.
The wheel of pain.
Our wheel.
Close up on Fester, confused at watching this emotional display.
To live without you, only that would be torture.
A day alone, only that would be death.
Gomez kisses Morticia's hand.
Knock it off! The vault, Addams, right now.
But Mother, we can't!
Gomez reaches for the book that will open the secret panel.
Can it, Gordon? Stop dragging your feet. You disgust me. You're nothing but a useless, sniveling baby. A stone around my neck. What was I thinking? I should have left you where I found you.
At Abigail's final words, Fester suddenly leaps forward.
No tricks! Gomez! Where's the... That's the wrong book.
Close up. Gomez's hand is on the right book, Greed, but Fester stops him from pulling it.
Allow me.
Gomez looks into Fester's eyes, realizing what he's about to do.
Good show, old man.
Fester reaches for a different book, Hurricane Irene, Nightmare from Above. Seeing the title of the book, Tully suddenly panics.
Put that book down, Gordon. You don't know what it can do. It's not just literature.
Oh, really?
I'm your friend, Gordon. Think of the doubloons.
They're not yours, Tully. Back off.
Okay.
Angle on Gomez, releasing Morticia from the torture wheel.
Quickly, my darling. Quickly, my
He
darling.
helps her down from the wheel.
Leather straps, red-hot pokers.
Later, my dearest, later.
Angle on Fester, facing off with Abigail as Tully cowers.
Keep the book closed, Gordon. Listen to Mother.
I'll never listen to you. Not ever again.
I had to be strict with you because I cared. Put it down.
You never really loved me.
Angle on Gomez and Morticia, nearing the bookcase.
Come, my love, to safety.
But what of Fester?
Old man, this way.
Angle on Abigail and Fester.
Stop whining, you good for nothing. Be a man.
You're a terrible mother. There, I said it.
Fester opens the book and blasts Tully out of the window. Then he blasts Abigail out as well. Angle on Gomez, who has now pulled the right book, Greed, to open the bookshelf. Amid the storm, he is leading Morticia behind the bookshelf. He tries to hold the bookshelf open for Fester to follow, fighting the gale force winds.
Old man, this way.
Angle on Thing, across the room, struggling across the floor toward the bookshelf. Thing fights the wind, which pelts him with papers and other flying debris. Gomez can no longer fight the storm, and the bookshelf slams shut. Fester desperately tries to close the book to quell the storm, but a huge bolt of lightning zaps him. He falls to the floor, with electricity coursing through him. Move in on the storm raging within the pages of the book, and then fade to black. We fade in on the outside of the Addams mansion next October. A group of little children approach the front door. There's a hand-lettered sign on the door reading Halloween Open House. The children are dressed in traditional Halloween costumes. There's a witch, a ghost, a skeleton, etc., and they all carry trick-or-treat bags. They giggle and chatter. One of the children is pushed forward, and he knocks on the front door. As the door opens, the children chant.
Trick or.
They freeze mid-chant. We do not see who has opened the door, but the children do. After a beat, they scream in horror and run, terrified, back to the street. Inside the front hall at the same time, Lurch is closing the front door, looking puzzled. The family is busily decorating the house for their annual Halloween festivities. All the decorations are elegant yet ancient, dusty and faded. The crystal gloves and the chandeliers have been replaced by miniature jack-o'-lanterns. Skeletons, each wearing a top hat, hang from the sconces by the nooses around their necks. There are clusters of black and orange balloons covered with cobwebs. Uncle Fester and Thing are draping the banisters and stairway railings with a garland made from crepe paper, dead branches, and Spanish moss. Skulls, each holding a candle, are scattered about on the stairs and the furniture. A stuffed life-size scarecrow leans against the stairway with a pitchfork through its throat. A banner on the wall reads Happy Halloween, and the letters drip with blood. Gomez hangs from upside down from the balcony, and Morticia hands him a decoration. Granny appears from the kitchen, carrying a tray of food.
Still lost. I made nut cake.
Perched on Fester's shoulder, Thing shakes in fear.
Oh, calm down.
Here we come.
Wednesday and Pugsley come down the stairs. Wednesday is dressed in her usual style, but Pugsley is dressed as a tiny version of Uncle Fester, complete with bald head and greatcoat. The adults are delighted. Gomez flips down onto his feet.
Pugsley, old man.
Look at you.
How do you like it?
Fester is very touched. He picks Pugsley up.
What can I say? He's going to break hearts.
Let's get a picture. Lurch?
Oh, yes, in the den.
Everyone starts to move toward the den. There's a knock on the door, and everyone turns. Lurch opens the door. Standing outside are Margaret and Cousin It. Margaret is dressed as a fairy princess, complete with a wand. Cousin It wears a cowboy hat, a bandana, and a holster. Margaret is radiant, obviously very much in love. You're muted. Mute, Grit.
Somebody feed me my line because my computer is completely resetting right now.
Babe, the line is trick or treat.
Say it one more time.
Oh my God.
Trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Look, everyone, we have guests.
Hello, Margaret, Cousin It. I almost didn't recognize you.
Isn't he handsome? Everyone keeps complimenting him on his costume, asking where he got it.
It is a wonderful hat.
And what are you, darling? Where's your costume?
It's my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
Cut to the interior of the dining room a few minutes later. Fester and Pugsley are posed at one end of the room. Lurch has set up an easel and canvas. He is painting Fester and Pugsley's portrait. Gomez and Wednesday are sitting on the floor amid newspapers, carving a pumpkin. Morticia is knitting. Margaret and Cousin It sit together, holding hands. Granny brings people cups of steaming punch from a punch bowl.
Halloween. It's such a special time. Ghosts and goblins, witches on broomsticks.
Children begging in the streets.
I'm so glad I can share this night with my family. My real family. Now that I got my memory back.
That unfortunate woman, filled with evil, but not enough.
She wasn't your mother. She just said that.
Messed up.
You remember, old sport. She really did find him tangled in a tuna tent 25 years ago with amnesia.
From the Bermuda Triangle.
How true. Stranger things have happened.
I'm sorry, and I'm not bitter, but I blame Tully. Oh, stop. I'm blushing.
Thank God for that lightning. Knock some sense into you.
Please, Uncle Fester.
Pugsley.
For the picture.
Fester pops a light bulb into his mouth. It lights. Pugsley giggles. Gomez stands up, having finished the pumpkin. He places it on a table and lights the candle inside. The pumpkin glows. It has one eye in the middle of its forehead. Everyone oohs and ahs.
You know, all the old sayings are true. There's no place like home, and blood is thicker than water.
And just as refreshing.
All right, everybody, time for a game. What shall it be, bobbing for apples?
Surprise nut cake?
Of course, wake the dead. Of course, wake the dead. Wake the dead.
Gomez!
Wake Fester.
Fester! Wake the dead, out to the cemetery. Come on, everyone.
Everyone starts to exit, chattering happily.
I've never played this before. How does it go?
Did you bring a shovel?
Uncle Fester, will you be on my team?
No, mine.
I'll tell you what. We'll give you a head start. 3 skulls and a pelvis. How's that?
Pugsley and Wednesday cheer and run out. Fester faces Gomez.
My own dear brother. Who could be more precious?
Blood is thicker than water, old man.
And just as refreshing.
Gomez offers his hand. Fester takes it in a manly handshake.
Let us never be parted.
Let us always be one.
Fester flips Gomez in a judo flip. Gomez lands at the foot of a glass display case. The camera pans up the case. It contains Abigail and Tully, expertly mounted and stuffed. Fester rises, dusting himself off.
Come on!
We'll catch up.
Fester runs out. Cut to the front hall. Everyone is gone. Morticia and Gomez had drifted into the front hall. They're moving toward the front door.
Our family. What are they?
Oh, Tish, what a night. Everyone together at last. What more could we ask?
Gomez.
Morticia holds up the garment she's been knitting. It's a baby jumper with 3 legs.
Cara mia, is it true?
Oui, mon cher.
They embrace as the front door swings open of its own accord. Cut to the exterior of the Addams mansion. Morticia and Gomez are silhouetted in the doorway. There's a full moon. In the distance, a wolf howls. Wispy ghosts flit through the night sky. A human scream is heard, followed by Granny's cackle. In the cemetery, torches are seen like fireflies. Fade out. The end.
Hey.
Yay! No, put that water down.
Okay.
Put it down. Okay, thank you.
Great.
Yay!
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 Who's this?
Ben.
This is Sophia. Say hi, Sophia.
She was a star there. She was Flora for a minute.
So I just want
To the impromptu bathroom break, you know.
Yeah. I just want to get the record that we got some karma with surprise nut cake between Danny, Luke, Daniel, and myself, all having to eat out because of internet.
We may have to just have it at like everyone gets one.
I
Yeah,
think
it was
I
a
have
little
to
too
cap our nut cake.
Dad also playing retrograde, which I'm in full agreement.
Yeah.
When is it done? Is it done soon?
Monday?
2 more days. 2 more days.
Before Halloween.
Too long.
Luckily, I'm off of work the next 2 days, so that works for me.
Like I'm happy for you, but I want that to be me.
Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna try something because on my phone, but it's saying that I can switch this because Zoom. Of course, Zoom decides to work now when we're done.
That's fine.
Sure.
Let's switch it.
Do you want me to do the cast call or?
Oh, hello.
In progress.
Yay.
lady.
What are we gonna do about that?
I think it
Or
was
it's
still
not
on
work-
YouTube. It just wasn't doing the backup.
It wasn't really
For
Zoom.
like, oh, for like the people who
We can
watch
draw
it
stick
later.
figures.
And then
Hi. So cute.
Oh,
Do you
my
want me to
God.
do casting call or do you want to do it?
Ooh, two of you.
You can go ahead and do it because
I think
Thoughts
Sophia can.
exactly.
same.
All right. I want to thank everybody for hanging in tonight. We had a little bit of tech issues, but hopefully you all were entertained by all of the nut cake. So let's give a huge round of applause for Fester Addams, Pat McMahon, kicking Butte, our wonderful Gomez, Cadaver Daddy-O, our fantastic orgasmic Morticia, played by the lovely Michelle.
And I must say, that was very nice to watch. I'm sorry, I'm the only person that saw that, but hey.
Our fantastic Wednesday Addams, Mr. Sean Watson. I can't tell anybody's names. I'm sorry.
The Oblivion.
Just be
Open
like
your
this
arms.
motherfucker.
Right.
Done.
Fofo.
This bitch.
Our Pugsley, Dan Jason Cook. Tully Alford, done by the amazing Luke Seckington. Miss Margaret Alford, done by the amazing Sarah Jameson.
Yay!
Our fearless narrator, Danny Wilson. And my personal favorite, Miss Granny, Asia Marie Brown, and the lovely Sophia.
Oh, Raz just walked into the room at the.
Oh, Raz had a little bit of a gate job. That's true. I
Yeah,
love
Razzle
Raz.
Days.
Yes. I love Raz. Oh my God, the best. I am Ginger Chase. And I played all the extra. And thank you all so much. I hope you all donated. If you haven't, there's still plenty of time to do so. Check her out on Cash App, Venmo, or the GoFundMe, and have the best night ever. Woo! All right, I guess that's it.
Yay.
Happy trails, Hans.
Everybody. I'm
Bedtime.
gonna go watch a
Bye.
spooky movie.
Good night. Yeah, go watch a
Yeah.
spooky movie.
I'm
Bye,
just
everyone.
sleepy.
Wait, what movie are
watch
you
my
watching? I
eyelids.
want to watch a spooky movie. We'll figure it out.